Yes, sir, mister. You can always tell a first-rate town by the way the people treat a stranger. Now, you know we're first class around here because this is genuine bay rum I'm throwing in, absolutely free.
I appreciate that word free, sir, because I'm down to my last dollar.
Well, you got a nice way about you, mister. But if you want to make money around this town, your strong back will help you more than your good manners.
Oh?
The mines, they're running full blast around here, paying top dollar, too. The cattlemen, on the other hand, are suffering. What's good for one is bad for the other. Why, Ben Cartwright's been coming to town the past 2 days trying to get men for the roundup. But they're all taking jobs in the mines. Guess you can't blame a man when you stack up the difference in wages. Ben sure is persistent, though.
Which one is Little Joe?
The one on the Pinto. Hey, how come you knew his name? I thought you said you was a stranger around here.
Oh, everybody's heard about the Ponderosa, the Cartwrights.
You heading for the mines?
I always go where the real money is.
Harry, you sure you want to sign on?
Well, I'll tell you how it is, Mr. Ben. If I go to the mines, they're going to pay me too much money.
Too much money?
Well, what can a man do with money but spend it on Saturday nights for whiskey and women? Now, at my age, too much of both ain't good for me. Now, with what you pay me, I can stay healthy.
You got yourself a job, Harry.
An explanation like that deserves beer, Harry. Come on, Harry. I hear you need hands.
That's right.
Well, I'm looking for a job.
We're looking for cowhands.
I know.
If you don't mind me asking, have you ever pushed cattle before?
Yeah, I've done it before, and like I say, I need a job.
Well, if it's money you're needing, why haven't you tried the mines?
You see, a man should only go below ground once, when they plant him there in a pine box. Me, I like fresh air.
Oh, that sounds fair enough, Pa.
Where have you worked before, Mr.?
Stafford, Clay Stafford.
You worked any ranches before?
The Circle J and Lazy Bar up in Oregon Territory. Lazy Bar is one of the biggest ranches up there.
Ever worked around here?
Well, no local references, if that's what you mean.
He's healthy and he needs a job, Pa. What more do you want?
Wages are $8 a week. Payday every Friday and a bonus at the end of the job.
Sounds fair.
All right. Clay Stafford.
Right.
Very good. We'll be leaving in about an hour. Doesn't look like anybody else in the lineup here. I'll get some supplies.
Right.
Hey, thanks for putting in a good word with your father.
If it made any difference, you'd have gotten the job anyway. We need hands. Hey, where you from, Stafford?
Call me Clay. From a lot of places.
Now, a man only gets born in one.
Well, that'd be New Orleans.
Hey, no kidding. New Orleans? My mother was born there. That's a coincidence.
Yeah, that sure is.
For the Cartwrights. Well, this is downright luxury here. Solid floor in the bunkhouse, springs in the beds, not even any busted window panes. You ain't been doing much riding lately, huh?
How do you mean?
Well, hardly any calluses on your hands.
Wear gloves.
Well, there'll be work aplenty starting tomorrow. I think I'll go in and try out them springs right now.
Huh. It's a pretty fancy holster you got there.
Yeah, it's a McKendrick special.
Looks like the left front end of it all.
Well, you see, you don't draw. The gun slips out.
Oh, yeah. Reckon you'd be ready to fire that in a wink, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's fast.
Won't be needing anything that fast around here.
Harry, I'm almost too tired to eat.
Yeah, but this is good, Mr. Benton.
That's not good.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a day's work that'll last a week.
Been so saddle sore since I was young.
Well, I'm ready, Mr. Cartwright.
All right.
See you.
Yeah. Where's he going?
Back to the ranch. Gonna help little Joe bring out the supplies.
How'd you talk him into that? After the day's work he put in.
I didn't. He volunteered.
Beaver for work, ain't he?
We could use a couple more like him.
Hey, Clay, what are you doing back here?
Thought I'd give you a hand with supplies.
Hey, thanks. I can use a hand as soon as I finish the coffee.
Some place you got here.
Yeah, sure is. My pa built this place with his bare hands. I was born in that little room upstairs.
Thought you said you were from New Orleans.
No, that's where my pa married my mother. They were married there, and then they came back here to settle down.
You remember your mother?
No, not too much. Just what my pa told me about her. He always said she was like having spring in the house the year round. Always laughing, full of fun and warmth.
Guess she must have looked pretty nice, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess she was about the prettiest woman in New Orleans. Hey, I've got a picture of her right here. I always carry it with me. What do you think?
Like having spring in the house all year round. Prettiest picture I've ever seen. Sure wish this was mine.
What?
Oh, it was a silly thing for me to say. I was just thinking how I never knew my mother. Kind of wish she looked like this. Hey, we better head out if we're gonna get back to camp before sundown, huh?
I guess we better. Those supplies won't take care of themselves.
Thanks, little girl.
would you be good enough to see your way clear to give me a $2 advance on my next week's pay?
Well, Harry, it's barely 11 o'clock. Have you run through your $8 already?
Well, it's this way, Mr. Ben. Now, these miners around here, they're drinking more whiskey and giving more to the girls. So I got to raise my sights to meet the competition.
Well, Harry, what about your health that you're so worried about?
It's Saturday night. I'll worry about my health Sunday morning. Thank you, sir.
Your lucky night, huh?
Yeah, it sure is.
You just come into town.
Yeah, the first of the week.
Where you been keeping yourself?
Herding cattle?
You're a cowpoke, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Ideal. Hey, Mel, we're wasting a lot of time with this little glass. Can't you give me something a little bigger? Yeah. Full house.
4 trays.
You say you're a cowhand?
Yeah, that's right. I've been working the Ponderosa.
They say you're a cheat. We work in the mines hard for our money. But being under the ground don't hurt my eyes none. It's to me like you low-carded.
I see it's my lucky night.
And I say we want our money back.
Every man to his own opinion.
Time you get miners and cattlemen together, they just itching for something to happen. And this thing was just about what they were waiting for.
Joseph, the sheriff's right. Best the boy leave town.
Pa, it is not right and it's not fair. Now, we all know he shot in self-defense.
Maybe so. But do you know whether or not he low-carded?
Roy, a man is innocent until proven guilty.
A stranger, a fast gun, and a card sharp all wrapped up into one package? Now, that's something Virginia City don't need.
Oh, wait a minute, Roy. Wait a minute. What do you mean, a stranger? Everybody's a stranger until they settle someplace. And as for being a fast gun, if he wasn't, he'd be dead instead of the miner. So don't use that.
All right, I'll grant you that. But you ain't answering the main point. Was he cheating or wasn't?
But the point is there is no proof the man was cheating.
That is not the point. Little Joe, when I first took this job, and that was a few years ago, I made an arrangement with myself. I said, Roy, the best way to handle trouble is to avoid it. And it's worked out pretty well. Now, if this fella Stafford stays around town, I'm just laying myself wide open to more killings. Can't you see that? Now, that's why he's got to go.
No, I can't see it. It's not right, Roy, and it's not fair.
Come on, Joseph. The sheriff knows best. It's his job. I'll take care of it, Roy. The young man will leave in the morning.
Thanks, Ben. So long, little Joe.
Right is right, and this isn't.
Now, Joseph, you're doing a lot of talking about right is right, and proof, and facts. Well, what facts do you have? What do you know about him? He worked a couple of ranches up in Oregon Territory. What else? But that isn't the main point. If he stays in Virginia City, he may be killed. Now, Roy's right. He knows best. Come on.
Are you heading out?
Yeah, I figured I'd have to move on sooner or later. Not quite this soon.
Sorry to see you go.
I put my time in here. Your father got his money's worth.
Oh, I know that.
Besides that, your father and the sheriff made it pretty clear that my welcome had run out.
Yeah, I know. I still think they're wrong about that. I told them so last night.
I mean, you stuck up for me? Argued against your father?
Why not? What's right is right.
Is that all?
No, it's not all. I don't know. We got along pretty good. Kind of thought we could be friends.
You remember that picture of your mother you showed me?
Yeah.
Can I see it again?
What for?
Just let me see it. See, this isn't just the picture of a beautiful woman. She's my mother, too.
There's something I don't like about closed doors.
Man's got a right to talk in private.
Yeah, but when it's family, I don't like to be left outside.
How do you know it's about family?
When a brother shows up from nowhere, it ain't family.
Maybe.
Pa wants to talk to Clay alone.
Of course, she told me she'd been married before. She also told me she'd had a child. But she said the baby had died.
They lied. They lied to her and they lied to me.
They lied. Who?
My grandparents, my father's folks. They were against the marriage from the very beginning. They hated my mother. Didn't think she was good enough for their son. Well, when we all got the fever, my father died. They told my mother that I had died also. And see, when I was old enough to ask questions, they told me that she was dead.
And after all this time, how did you find us?
Well, last year I shook the wander dust off my heels and went back to New Orleans. Yes, I got sentimental, wanted to put a flower or two on Mother's grave. But of course, that's when I found out there wasn't any grave. After that, I checked with the Hall of Records and around, and that's when I found out about you being married to my mother and about the Ponderosa.
Clay, why didn't you tell us all this when you first got here?
Well, I didn't want to push myself into a family. I don't know why I came here. Guess because I wanted to see my brother. Oh, and find out if I liked you or not. No, none of this changes the fact that I better be moving on. Those miners are pretty hot under the collar.
Oh, you'll be all right here in the Ponderosa.
Are you sure, sir?
Of course. They won't come out here.
No, sir. That's not what I mean.
What do you mean?
I mean, do you believe me?
Of course I do. Of course I believe you. News is rather startling. You have to admit that. Out of the blue, so to speak. Takes a little getting used to. Look, we have plenty of room in here. Why don't you move in from the bunkhouse?
Thank you, sir.
Adam? Lost little Joe sleep?
Yeah, it's kind of late.
I guess I should have asked Hoss, Little Joe, and Clay asleep. Suppose I'll be asking that from now on.
Yeah, I guess you will. Well, he sure came out of the blue.
Hmm?
Well, he did kind of come out of nowhere.
Where are you driving at?
Well, I hope you don't mind, but Horace and I were kind of talking it over, and we, well, don't you think you ought to check his story out?
You and Horace think that he might have made up the whole thing?
Well, we think it's important enough to know for sure. I mean, it wouldn't do any harm to send a telegram to Judge Wharton down in New Orleans, would it?
What are you doing in town?
Just rode in all the way from the ranch to ask you the same question.
Your boss said that there were some supplies that needed picking up.
You knew you were the one that was going to pick them up?
What difference does it make? They needed picking up.
Look, Pa told you we're safe on the ranch, but not here in town.
It's working hours. The miners are underground.
Just half of them. They work on shifts. Now, let's get this wagon loaded and get out of here.
Brother Joe, you worry too much. What you need is a beer to help you relax. Since we're in town, why don't we take care of that, huh?
Here, wait a minute and use your head. Now, the town is hot. The saloon's one place you're going to run into trouble.
Maybe you won't have to look that far. Seems to be here right now.
Hot day. Maybe a couple of beers would cool us all off.
Since Saturday, we're kind of particular about the company we keep. Take a horse thief, you can see the horse he steals. A fellow robs a bank, well, there's the money. But a card cheat, well, if he's good at it, it's over and done with before you know what's happened.
Sam hadn't been drinking, nothing would have happened. There was no reason for it.
Well, Sam ain't here to argue the point, but we are. But we aim to do more than just argue. You figure on using that gun?
I never draw first. Just like to keep the street clean.
You think one gun's enough?
2 guns, gentlemen. Now, why don't you all just forget it? We don't want anybody to get hurt.
Why don't you keep your nose out of this, Cartwright? Friend or no friend, he's gonna get his.
He's not just a friend, he's my brother.
All right. There'll be another day.
Can use that beer now.
Well, couldn't we just load the wagon and leave town?
Maybe you're right, brother. Well, the beans are on the fire. We'll have a drink.
You better take it easy. We gotta be back to camp before light.
Here's just the thing that'll help us take it easy. Here, drink up.
You sure you got enough? Hey, this is whiskey.
But not exactly.
Well, what is it then?
Pulque.
Pulque, what's that?
Well, it's a drink they have down in Mexico. They make it out of cactus. When you were loading up the wagon, I got it from Manuel back at the livery stable. Come on, drink up.
It's hot, but it's good.
Yeah, just like riding a nice, easy bronc. But when he discovers that burr under his saddle, watch out.
Don't worry about me. I can take it.
You know, this is better than a saloon.
Yeah, you're right, and the company's better, too. Hey, how'd you happen to learn about this,
Pulque?
Pulque, yeah.
Oh, when I was down in Mexico, it's the only kind of liquor they have down there, so you have to learn to like it.
What are you doing down there?
Fighting with Juarez.
Fighting with Juarez? What, in his army?
Yeah, I was down there for 2 years, a lieutenant.
Man, how'd you happen to get mixed up in a thing like that?
Well, the pay was good, and I happened to believe in what he was fighting for.
Yeah, he was fighting that emperor, Maximilian, wasn't
Yeah, that's right.
he? Yeah, I read a little bit about that somewhere.
You know, Juarez was a real Mexican, not a Spaniard. He's just like one of the thousands of peasants he led. A great man.
know, it's kind of sad he had to fail.
Oh, he'll come back. And when he does, maybe I'll go back too. Hey, you know, we're getting much too serious. Come on, drink up, will you?
All right.
Hey, look, I'll tell you about the girls that used to follow the army. Now, look, there was this one gal. Her name was Conchita. Oh, Conchita. So, you see, when we ran out, Conchita went right through the enemy lines and brought back a couple of jugs.
Brought back a couple of jugs. Hey, look. Now, that is the kind of girl, that Conchita. That's the kind of girl that I would like to have.
Hey, oh, Conchita, she had a sister. Rosita. Rosita.
Hey, listen now, in all seriousness, we ought to get down there and get that Conchita and that Rosita.
I'll drink to that. Viva Juarez.
Viva! Viva! Viva la revolución! Viva, viva! 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 Viva pulque! There's a lot of pulque in there. Oh, that Conchita and Bonita.
Viva your Rosita.
Viva my Rosita and Bonitas and Conchita. Viva my brother!
Hey, viva my brother. Viva.
Viva, brother! We've got to get down there and viva that Conchita and Bonita. Viva!
Good morning, Joe.
Morning. Morning. After a night of chewing the fat, nothing like a big breakfast to get you back in action.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Speaking of fat, I'm gonna have me some more of that fat back. He really ain't nothing quite like some good old salt sow belly for breakfast, right, Joe? No.
Oh, sorry, fellas. Something wrong?
No, I'm raring to go this morning.
It's too bad we drank all that pulque. You'd like it.
You know, now, me, I personally prefer a great big glass of hot whiskey, about 100 proof.
Oh, yeah. I guess we're just unlucky, huh?
Well, morning, boys.
Come on.
I'm here to work. Oh, morning, Joseph. Say, I've never seen you look better.
Oh, I'm feeling real good, too.
Oh, well, that's real fine, because we sure got a lot of work to do today. You, boys had quite a chat last night.
Yeah, I guess we overdid it.
Well, I think he'll live. Boys, I got to ride back to the ranch. Keep things moving, eh?
Right, pal. That Clay sure is a likable fella, isn't he?
Yeah, sure is. You know, if me or you, either one, brought Joe home in the condition he was in last night, we wouldn't have heard the last of it till yet.
Well, that's for sure.
What do you mean a condition? I'm in. I'm not in any kind of condition. I heard what Pa said was get started.
Gee, I'm sorry, fella. What's the matter? We heard you wanted to see us.
Yeah, I got the telegraph back from New Orleans.
What'd it say?
Story checks out.
What's the matter, then?
Albert Wharton is a very good lawyer. When he investigates, he gets all the facts. Marie was his mother. He was born in New Orleans, raised by his grandparents. It's all true.
What's the trouble, Paul?
Something that Alvin found out that happened 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah, a little town in Texas, Chico Wells. Seems there was a card game. Clay was winning a lot of money. Man accused him of cheating. Reached for his gun.
Clay killed him.
Yeah.
It's sort of stretching the long arm of coincidence, ain't it?
I'm afraid that's how a lot of people will look at it.
How do you look at it?
What are you going to tell little Joe?
Well, he's going to have to face the fact that there can be weaknesses in people, even in those you care about.
You going to let Clay stay around?
Guess we'll have to give him the benefit of whatever doubts we have about him.
I don't understand. What is he guilty of?
Joseph, I'm not accusing him of anything. But we both know how he's lived.
All right, he's led a different life. He's been alone. But it doesn't change the fact that he's my brother and he's still part of this family.
Well, of course he is. I'm not disputing that. But he must realize, and you must help him realize, that, well, things are different here. Tragedies like the other night with the miner.
You keep saying that. Now, it was not his fault, and the only reason you'd have for saying that is because you think he was cheating.
The only person who can answer that is Clay himself.
All right, I'll talk to him.
I think it might be better if I talked with him.
Now, please let me talk to him, Bob. Please let me be the one.
All right.
Thanks. Hey, Clay, you know, I've been thinking. Now, the roundup's going to be over in a couple of days, and I thought you and I could take a trip somewhere.
Huh?
Well, you know, Viva Juarez. Kind of like to go down to Mexico, see how the revolution's coming along.
You know, it's not all just fun down there, Joe. As I told you the other night, a revolution's a pretty serious thing.
I remember. I remember most of it. Look, if it's not Mexico, it'll be some other place. I don't care. I just want to take a trip and have some fun. We're brothers, aren't we? Now, the roundup's over, we'll collect our pay and take off.
Okay, when the roundup's over, we'll figure out where we'll go.
Good enough.
Clay? We'll have the last of these strays rounded up by tomorrow. You're so busy, I haven't had much chance to talk.
Yes, sir.
I mean, since Joe talked to you.
Oh, you mean about going to Mexico?
What's this about Mexico?
Well, the other night we talked about the 2 years I spent with Juarez in Mexico. He thought now, after the roundup, it might be fun to go down there.
I see. That's all he talked to you about?
Yes, sir. Well, what was he supposed to talk about, sir?
And Clay, we understand what a rough time you've had these past 10 or 12 years, making your way alone. And understand that your way of life is different from ours as a result. Your values are different. The past is past. You're part of the family now, and we'd like you to stay part of the family. Hope that our way of life, our values, will be yours from now on.
Well, sir, I don't know.
You don't know what?
I mean, I appreciate what you've said, and you're very generous, but I've got to be honest with you. I'm not sure that this is my kind of life.
Well, are you sure it isn't your kind of life?
No, sir.
Would you try it?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's forget these romantic notions about Mexico.
Well, that was Joe's idea.
Well, he was influenced by you. Try to use your influence the right way.
Yes, sir, I'll try.
Good. See you at the house.
Thanks again, Mr. Walsh.
Healthy bonus for all hands this year.
That sure is. It's one roundup that ended up better than it started.
Be careful with that money, Joel.
I will, sir. Thank you.
Hold it, Cartwright. Go in the alley. Come on, move. All right. Where is he?
Where's who?
That new brother of yours. We've been waiting for him. What's the matter? Is he scared to come to town?
Nobody's scared. Look, we just don't want any trouble, that's all.
Well, it ain't always easy to avoid trouble. Guess we'll have to give you a message for that brother. Go on, take him, boys.
Let's get him in the house.
Easy, easy.
How is he, sir?
He's pretty badly beaten up, but he'll be all right.
Well, did he tell you how it happened?
Yes. Apparently the miners meant it as a message to you.
I figured that's what it was. I'm sorry, sir. I should have taken off before now. I'll pack my things tonight.
No, Clay, that's no answer. As I told you, you're family now. We'll handle it together.
No, sir, that's not what I mean. You see, trouble's been following me all my life. No matter what I do, no matter where I go. And now it's followed me here.
Well, running is not going to solve that problem. We'll handle it somehow. I'll get some broth that I've been heating up. Now, you drink that.
Where is everybody?
Oh, Hoss and Adam are paying off the man, and they'll be back soon. Clay's downstairs.
Does he know about the miners?
Yeah, he knows.
Well, I sure hope he doesn't blame himself.
You stop worrying about what other people are thinking. You drink that broth.
Hey, tell Clay I want to see him.
Best thing for you to do right now, young man, is rest.
I'll rest as soon as I see Clay.
You drink up that broth, and I'll get him.
Thanks.
Clay? Clay?
where's Clay?
Joe Clay's left. I checked his room. His things are gone.
He's gone. Tell me what you said to him, Pa.
I didn't say anything to him, Joe. I didn't even see him. I'd already asked him to stay, be part of the family. Son, he's old enough to make his own decisions. The important thing for you right now is to rest. Take care of yourself. Good night, son.
Good night, Pa. Why'd you leave without me?
You better get off that horse before you fall off. Come on over here and sit down.
Hey, no, thanks. I just didn't stand up. I think I feel better.
Sorry I don't have any pulque, but here. Viva coffee.
The last thing I need is any more of that pulque. Thanks. Why'd you leave without me?
Just like I told your pa. Trouble's been following me all my life. I mean, look what happened to you just on account of me.
That's no reason. I've been in fights before.
Yeah, but this time you were lucky. It was their fists. Next time it could be their guns.
Look, Clay, we're brothers. Your fight is my fight. This thing with the miners, we can settle together. Look, you have family now. Don't leave.
It won't work, Joe.
Clay, we're brothers. We can make it work.
Look, let me explain something to you. Just because we're brothers doesn't mean we have to think alike, be alike, do alike. Yes, it happens with some brothers, like you and Adam and Hoss.
Why can't it work with you and me?
Because it just won't. Look, you lived all your life on the Ponderosa, and you like it. But you see, I couldn't. It would be like being in a cage.
All right, then I won't ask you to stay at the Ponderosa now. We'll travel around together. You feel you're ready to settle down.
You could no more live my life than I could live yours.
Well, how do you know? I've never tried it.
Look, you saw what happened to that miner. It's happened before, and it can happen again.
Maybe things like that won't happen, Clay, if we're together.
No, it couldn't. Look, you just get in my way.
Clay, you don't mean that. You know it.
Look, will you get it through your head that I don't want you along? I don't need your family, and I don't need you. Now, will you go home, Joe? Where you belong?
You bring it back someday.
Are you all right, son?
Hey, Adam. See little Joe?
No sign of him.
You don't reckon he went back to the ranch?
Nah, he's probably found some little girl who couldn't resist his boyish charm.
You all right?
Had a good notion to take your friend on over there for free.
Yeah, well, let me stop you. It's just my brother. Still say I could have stuck with you for 4 rounds.
Yeah, well, we'll try it again sometime when your old mate Ants aren't around. All right, boys, drinks on Dave Donovan.
Go get a drink on Dave. Joe, we didn't know you had a bet with that feller.
You think you could ask me first before you butt your nose in and make a fool out of me in front of everybody?
So we made a mistake. Never get sore. You've been fighting all over town.
Look, it's my life and I like it. Now, I don't tell you what to do. I don't want you to tell me what to do. Stop drinking my beer. I want you to quit following me around.
Joe, there ain't nobody following you around. First of all, we ain't got the strength. We just came to tell you Paul wants to see you.
And what about?
He just wants to see you, that's all.
Yeah, will you tell Pod?
Tell him what, little brother?
Yeah. What's the message?
Tell Pa I'll be coming along. A few more drinks. Let you boys along, but I know at your age you gotta have some sleep.
Just a moment, young man.
Hey, Pa?
This family, we talk to each other. We don't mumble under our breath. Come here. I'd like to know what happened in town this afternoon.
Nothing happened. I was just having a little fun, that's all.
I don't like the idea of a son of mine brawling around town like a drunken cowboy.
Now, Pa, I wasn't drunk and I wasn't brawling. If you two are going to tell it, why don't you tell it straight?
You know, if you don't start using a decent tone of voice with me, I might just have to give you that punch in the jaw I owe you.
Yeah, why don't you start right now?
That's just enough out of both of you.
Paul, little Joe's been spoiling for a fight for 3 weeks. Why don't you let him have it?
Well, come on. That goes for you, too.
Now, just a minute. This will go for you 3. You can't talk to each other without fighting. Get on up to bed. Now, go on. Not you, Joseph. I want to talk to you. Now, what's this all about?
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. You're spending quite a lot of time away from the Ponderosa lately. I'd like to know why.
Why can't I have some fun without the whole family jumping on me?
I'm not jumping on you. Sure, I think everybody should have a little fun. But at the proper times and with the proper companions.
I don't know. Oh, it's because I'm the youngest or what? No matter what I want to do or where I want to go, there's Hoss and Adam, ready to tell me what to do and what not to do. And help? Oh, yeah, help, whether I want it or not.
Well, don't you think we ought to help each other?
Not all the time, Pa. I've spent my whole life on the Ponderosa seeing the same old faces and doing the same old things.
I'd always figured that the Ponderosa was your future as well as that of your brothers.
Pa, how can I prove if I'm good at anything by myself?
Joe, you don't have to prove yourself to us.
I'm not trying to prove myself to you, Pa. I'm trying to prove myself to me.
What is it you're trying to prove?
I don't know whether I'm good enough, whether I'm old enough, or whether I'm smart enough to do something by myself without 3 people waiting there to help me every time I stub my toe. Pa, it's not that I don't appreciate what you...
Well, I guess every young man wants to strike out on his own. It's just that Father doesn't like to face up to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what gets into me sometimes. I get restless or something. I don't know. Hey, what are you doing here?
Huh? When you were in town, you must have heard about that new mine they're opening up on the other side of Sun Mountain.
Yeah.
Well, Bert Crawford of the Sun Mountain Company is asking for bids to supply the timbering.
Bids? Will Povey was in town lining the men up. He says he's got that contract in the bag.
I guess he will have, as usual.
Yeah. What's this little circle you got here?
Hmm?
Hey, isn't it that stand of fur right above Buckhorn Meadow?
Yeah.
Well, that's 10 miles closer to the mine than any timber Will Povey's gonna bring in. You're not thinking of bidding, are you?
Well, I'd sure like to. But as Adam points out, most of that 10 miles is straight up and down. It's too tough a job. Anyway, we've got enough to keep us busy right here at home.
Yeah, that's something else I wanted to say. I haven't been pulling my share of the load here at the ranch, and I'm gonna change that starting tomorrow.
Sure. Well, I'm for bed. How about you?
No, I think I'll just stay up and read for a while, but I don't worry. I'll get to bed in time and get up early and start working.
Night, son.
Good night, Pa.
you doing there? You been up all night?
Yeah, Pa, I have. Here, take a look. I got it all figured out.
You got what figured out?
How to get that buckhorn fur to the Sun Mountain mine and beat Will Povey's price.
Now, Joe.
Oh,
Adam and
do
Hoss
it.
went up. What?
I can do it. I've got it. All the figures right here. Look.
What's this?
It's the most papers I've seen you with since you was in school.
And up early, too.
Well, Joe's decided that he's going to bid on that Sun Mountain timber contract for us.
The timber contract?
Well, we'd agreed it was too big a risk.
Yeah, what about Will Povey?
Yeah, what about Will Povey?
I thought about Povey. I'll underbid him by plenty and still make a good profit.
Well, you know Povey can play pretty rough.
That's fine with me, too. He wants to play rough. I'll hire a crew that plays rougher.
Yeah? Who you got in mind?
I figure for a foreman, Dave Donovan. He's young and he's tough.
Donovan?
He's a good man, Pa.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
You're sure you can do it?
I know I can do it.
Well, I say let Joe do as he wants to.
Well, good luck, little brother.
Thanks.
Tell you what, I'll get you Jake Weber. He'll make you a great foreman. He's a good woodman, too.
Adam, I told you I've already got a foreman, Dave Donovan.
All right, I'll take a few days off and help you myself.
Hey, yeah, me too. The range can wait, can't it, Paul?
I don't need any help. Now, look, this is my idea, it's my job, and I want to do it by myself. Is that agreed, Pa?
Yeah. Well, see you around. Good luck.
Joe? Come here. I want you to do something for me.
Well, what's that?
Break these.
Break these? All right. Wait a minute. You wouldn't think they'd... Holy... Well, I can't do it, Bob.
That's right. Well, they're together like this. You can't break them. But singly, they can be broken. By himself, each one of us can be broken. Never let pride stand in your way, son. We're all here if you need us.
I'll remember that, Pa. Everybody get started on this idea. Those trees aren't going to cut themselves.
Good afternoon, Mr. Povey.
Bert, here's my bid.
Getting in just under the wire, 6 minutes.
What's old Hawkins doing out here from San Francisco?
He's just looking around. I'll still make the final decision, Will.
I'm counting on that. This is an important contract.
You've got the low bid. You're as good as in.
If you want your cut, I'd better be.
I think I'm gonna just check my figures over on this bid, make sure I got everything correct before I turn it in.
Man, you're as pitched as a fox in a forest fire.
I know I am.
You bidding?
Uh-huh.
Cutting it kind of fine, aren't you? Bid close any minute now.
Yeah, well, I'll make it.
Kind of young to be bidding on a big contract like this.
Look, do me a favor. Don't talk to me right now. 'Cause I'm trying to add these figures up, and it's kind of hard for me. All right? 17 times 7.
119.
Thanks.
That's your bid?
Uh-huh, yep.
Awful low, isn't it?
No, it's an honest bid. It's about time Sun Mountain got one.
I don't follow that, son.
It's real simple. They've been getting bilked out of their timber contracts for a long time.
Well, now, wouldn't the folks that run the company put a stop to that sort of thing?
No, I mean, stop it. What do they know about it? The company's probably run by some fat old money bag sitting behind a desk in San Francisco. Couldn't tell you beans about the mining business.
Bid's closed.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute, got one more.
I'm afraid that bid's too late.
What do you mean too late? I've been here all the time. I was just rechecking my figures.
Bid's acceptable, Mr. Crawford.
Yes. Yes, of course. Well, Mr. Hawkins, president of Sun Mountain, and I will now examine the bids. Gentlemen, we'll announce our decision in a few minutes.
Your papers, young man.
I don't know what your name is, mister, but I want to thank you a lot.
The name's Hawkins.
You look kind of sick. Oh, no, I'm fine. I'm in great shape. It's called the president of the mining company and old fat money bags.
Gather round, gentlemen.
Mr. Crawford and I have examined all the bids. For instance, Mr. Povey here has offered a very good price.
Well, I've always tried to give Sun Mountain the best deal I can, Mr. Hawkins. Crawford here can tell you that.
Yes, indeed.
This time, I'm afraid it isn't quite good enough. We have a few that are somewhat lower. In fact, Joseph Cartwright here is considerably below you, Mr. Povey.
Well, he can deliver Ponderosa pine, Mr. Hawkins, but the contract calls for fir.
And that's what I intend to deliver.
Well, you're not talking about that stand of fir up above Buckhorn Meadow, are you?
Yeah, it might be.
Well, you'd never get it out. That country goes straight up and down between the mine and there.
Is that true, Mr. Cartwright?
Yes, sir, that's true, but I've taken that into consideration in my bid.
Mr. Hawkins, you can't take this...
Quiet, please. I like your spunk, young man, and your price. Joseph Cartwright wins the contract.
Thank you, sir.
See that you deliver that timber, young man.
Don't worry, you can count on me. And, you're a lot thinner than I pictured you.
Good luck, son.
I'm sorry, Will. I did my best.
Yeah, I'll bet you this is liable to cost you quite a bit of money.
Both of us.
Unless we can do something about it.
You son of a gun, you did it!
Well, wait till Pa hears this.
Like I said, it's a lot of money.
Joe Cartwright. Say, that bid of yours came as quite a surprise to me, young fella.
Well, Mr. Crawford, I kind of got the idea you didn't want me to get that contract.
Whatever's best for the company.
I'm glad to hear you say that. We'll do a good job for you.
Fine. Now, just as soon as you post the performance bond, we'll sign the contract.
Post the what?
Performance bond. $5,000 cash.
So wait a minute. There's nothing about that in the contract. Mr. Hawkins didn't even mention it.
He didn't have to. It's company policy, standard procedure in all our contracts. Well, you can ask him yourself if you want to. You do have the $5,000, don't you? You wouldn't have time to ride out to the Ponderosa and get it. I need it by sundown. That's company policy, too.
I think I understand. Okay, you'll get your money by sundown.
Well, looks like I don't have a job after all, huh?
Don't worry, you got a job soon as we get to the bank.
You know, I think I'm going to enjoy seeing how a man gets his hands on 5,000 great big dollars.
You know something? I'm going to kind of enjoy seeing it myself. Let's go.
Well, Joe, if your father wants to co-sign the loan, of course you can have it. You can have twice that amount.
Mr. Simpson, I don't have time for that. Isn't there some way? Couldn't I make it a personal loan?
I'm afraid that's something else again. What do you want the money for?
For a performance bond on the Sun Mountain timber contract.
How'd you get that contract away from Will Povey?
By underbidding him. More than $10,000.
I'd say you made a very foolish bid. Why, the wagons alone are...
I don't need wagons. Gonna build a flume.
A flume?
That's right, I'm gonna build a flume right down to the Truckee River. Here. I'm gonna float those logs right down to the mine. It's gonna work. I figured it all out.
Well, Dave. Joe, that might work. Did your brother Adam figure this out for you?
My brother Adam had nothing to do with it. I figured this out all by myself. Well, do I get the loan or not?
I'll grant the loan. But remember, if you don't deliver, you're out $5,000, plus the interest.
I'll deliver. Don't you worry about it. I'll deliver. You have your receipt book with you, Crawford? Come on, I got a lot of things to do. Let me have the receipt.
Yeah, well, you heard the man, Crawford. Count the money and give him a receipt.
Yes. Yes, of course.
Hey, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to get over the look on that Crawford's face when I handed him that $5,000 in cash. He never thought I was going to raise that money.
Why do you figure that?
I mean, why? It's a lot of money, that's why.
Your name's Cartwright, ain't it?
Well, that had nothing to do with it. It was my idea about the flume that sold him on giving me that loan.
Ah, come on, Joe. You know you had your family behind you. What kind of chance would I have raising $5,000?
Yeah, what difference does it make? We got the money, didn't we? I want you to go out and give me some men.
Sure. First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning, nothing. You're going to do it tonight. First thing in the morning, we're going to work.
All right. I'll eat some money.
What for?
You know, spread around, buy some drinks,
Yeah,
get the men.
You're right. Oh, it's getting thinner.
Say, while you're in there, do you think maybe I could get about a $50 advance? I'm a little short myself.
I don't see why not. You're my foreman, aren't you?
See you later, Jack.
Right.
Evening. I'm Jake Weber.
Jake, yeah. Joe Cartwright. Nice to see you.
I heard tell you got that Sun Mountain contract. I'm open to work right now.
Well, I've already got a foreman, Dave Donovan here.
Hi.
Excuse me, I got some work to do.
Right, good luck. He's a pretty good man.
Well, that's as may be. You're going to need a couple of straw bosses, and I need the work.
Jake, tell me something. My brother Adam sent you?
Nope.
My pa?
If you don't want me, just say so.
I'm sorry, Jake. It's got nothing to do with it. I can use you.
Say the word, and I can fetch along a lot of my old crew.
Good. That's great. I can use every man I can get. I'm going to camp tomorrow morning up in Buckhorn Meadow.
I'll see you on the job, boss. I'll have the men start setting up.
Fine. It's good to have you with us.
Thanks.
Thank you, boys, one and all.
Now, you're what I call a pretty fair country poker player.
Yep. Cards are like the old reliable meat in the pot to me.
Yeah, well, it cleans me.
Mark, keep more whiskey over here. Hey, you're not leaving so early, are you?
Well, it stopped being early 2 hours ago.
Holy smoke, I clean forgot. I'm supposed to be getting men to fill the payroll here. Say, you fellas wouldn't want to come to work for me, would you?
No. Better watch your language.
No, I'm serious. The work's not hard. Top dollar. Hey, wait. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give a bottle of whiskey to every man who signs on with me.
Well, why didn't you say that in the first place?
Bring him on.
wondered when you'd be along.
All right, what's the barrier for, Povey?
Well, you see, I bought myself a piece of timber that goes through here. Now, I wouldn't want to close off a road, but seeing as how I own it, you wouldn't blame me for charging toll, would you?
All right, you name your price, I'll pay it.
I figure $25 a wagon ought to do it.
I figure a poke in the nose would
Take it easy, Dave. $25? Well, that's just fine and dandy, Povey.
Get it.
Okay, open it up.
It's going to cost you $25 every time one of your wagons comes through here. And you're going to need a lot of wagons. I hope you figured that in your bid.
Okay, open it up.
Open it up.
Be careful that log doesn't hit you in the face when it swings back now.
He's bluffing.
What makes you think so?
At $25 a wagon load, that would break him. I saw that bid. He hasn't got enough margin.
The crew you hired? I don't look like much.
Looks ain't everything in a working man, Joe. They're spry and full of spirit.
I can smell that.
I'll whip them into shape. You'll see.
There's no work in them. I know they're kind.
You let me worry about that, mister.
Neither you or me has got this deadline, Donovan.
I'm the foreman. I can handle it.
Brother Adam would send him packing in 5 minutes.
Now, Brother Adam's not bossing this job, Jake. I am. All right, call the men together. I want to talk to them.
All right, you men. Gather on.
All right,
Come
let's
on.
get on your feet.
Boss
Let's go.
wants to talk to you. Come on.
All right, we got a pretty tough job ahead of us. We're going to build a flume from here to the Truckee River. I'm a fair man. I'm not going to ask any of you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. But I do want a dollar's work for a dollar's pay. We got a deadline on this job. We can meet it if we all pitch in together. We can meet it with time to spare. We're going to work in 2 crews. Loggers will work under Jake Weber. That's the you men under Dave Donovan. And there'll be no drinking on the job. Any questions? All right, let's get to work.
All right, come on, let's go. All right, men, let's go. Back to work. On a double.
Hey, Dave, you see the bottle?
Sure. You must be dry after a big speech like that. Hey, what's the big idea?
Heard what I just said, no drinking. It goes for everybody.
You're getting kind of hard-nosed, aren't you, boy?
Expecting you to get the same way. Come on, Foreman. I thought you were going to whip these men into shape.
Sure. Okay, bring Ellen down here.
Why, what's going on here? Why aren't you men working?
Maybe it's just because we don't feel so good.
If you don't feel good, go pick up your time. Now, come on, get moving. Dave! Dave Donovan!
Come on, move.
Yeah, Joe?
Look, Dave, I want 100 yards of this flume finished by tonight.
100 yards? It's impossible.
It's not impossible if you keep these men working. Now, let's get going.
All right.
Okay, you men, get your backs in turn. Let's go.
Because he's a Cartwright, he thinks he can push everybody around. How much longer are you going to put up with him?
Till payday. That's tomorrow.
Moving this big stuff is mighty slow work, Joe. We're falling behind.
Yeah, I know, Jake. We can use some more horses.
That sure would help.
All right, I'll leave right away. If I don't get back by tomorrow, I want you to pay them in anyway.
All right. But I don't think them Donovan men are earning their pay.
Jake, don't worry about Dave's men. They're going to do their share of the work.
If you say so.
Hey, Weber. Put yard on timber down at our end. Keep those logs moving.
How's it going, Foreman?
Pretty good.
I'll leave for a day to get a couple more teams of horses. I want you to keep the men working just the way they are.
Right. You can count on me.
Smitty! Come on, be my guest. Don't waste it.
Thank you. I tell you, boys, you associate with the right people, and lady luck begins to shine. Well, sit down, boss. We're celebrating payday.
All right, suppose you all get back to work. That goes for you, too, Dave.
Hey, wait a minute. This is old Donovan, remember?
Dave, you're drunk. Now, don't give me any trouble.
Don't give you any trouble. How does it feel to be a big man? Money, giving orders, snapping your fingers and everybody jumping.
I don't know what's got into you, but I'm going to say it just one more time. All of you, get back to work.
We ain't through celebrating yet, are we, boys?
It looks like I just lost a foreman. Pack up your things and get out.
All right. If I leave, my boys go with me.
All right, any of you that want to stay and work, that's fine. If not, you better follow him.
Well, I'm staying. Come on, let's get back to work.
Cartwright. Lots of luck. You're gonna need it.
All right, man, let's get to it. Jerry, take your men and finish up down to the southboard. Smitty, you and your men get your tools and follow me. Come on now, let's go. Let's go.
There he is, boy, just like I told you. I've been keeping an eye on him up here.
What do you think?
Still has a long way to go.
Think we ought to help him?
No, that's for him to decide.
You let that little, great, big Joe Cartwright fire you, huh? Can't cut with him, can you, huh? Cartwright's got all the money. Run you right out of town, huh, Dave? Cartwrights are gonna come in town with a gun and go, tell you, ain't nothing. I heard Cartwright fired you.
Yeah. Yeah, he tossed me a crumb and he took it away. I thought he was one of us, but I made a mistake. He belongs up there in that big house.
Well, I thought you two were good friends.
Me? I ain't got a big house and a stand of timber and a magic name. I'm just riffraff to the Cartwrights. You know, I learned a long time ago that this is the only true friend a man's got.
How would you like a lot of these true friends?
What's your proposition?
$500 now, and $500 when Joe Cartwright forfeits his bond. Think you can do it?
Mr. Povey, you just bet on a sure thing. You with me?
All the way.
Make sure you got them all secured good, Bobby.
Right, Joe.
Hey, look at that, Jake. Another half a mile and we can start the logs rolling.
I can tell you now, Joe, I never thought you'd do it.
I want to thank you and the men for sticking by me.
Thanks.
Hey, Brennan! What's the matter? You getting tired?
I'm saving my strength to beat your head in when this job's finished.
Yeah, me too. All right, you both get a chance when the job's finished. We can all sleep for about 3 months. Everybody down! Come on, clear off the floor. We're sitting ducks up here. Come on, Jake, let's get cover.
Cover me. I'm gonna go take care of that flume.
Get the rifles! Well, come on! You gonna let somebody shoot at you and not do anything about it?
You men stay right where you are. I hired you as loggers, not gunmen.
There's only another half mile of flume to build. We can make it if we fight them off.
Jake, I'm not gonna risk the lives of these men just to fill a lumber contract.
I thought it was you. How's it going, son? What's the matter, boy? Trouble?
I got more trouble than I know what to do with.
Tell me about it.
I don't know what good it'll do to talk about it now.
Well, might do some good. I told you my troubles a time or two.
Well, I made every mistake in the book. I trusted Donovan. I thought I could handle Povey. Well, I handled him all right. He hired some gunmen. They blew up a section of the flume.
Anyone hurt?
I had one man winged. I told Jake and the men to quit. I couldn't ask them to risk their lives.
Hey, Joe, I saw your horse out there when I come out of the barn.
We've run into a little trouble. What are you going to do, give up?
It's not what I want to do. I just don't have any choice. I can't do it alone.
Well, Joe, we're still here. If you need us.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do for 3 or 4 days.
Well, free as a bird.
Yeah, I got about a dozen men sitting around doing nothing but collecting wages.
Well, let's go then.
What a blow, huh?
There he is. Povey, Crawford, bartender. I'd have been here a little sooner, but I've been out doing a little celebrating. I'm here for the other 500.
Well, you almost made it, Donovan.
What do you mean by that? That whole Cartwright crew moved out when I blasted that flume.
The trouble is, you're only half right. Crawford here went up to check on Cartwright's progress. Well, his crew left all right. But while you were out celebrating, they've come back.
Not only Weber and his crew, but the whole Cartwright family and all their ranch hands.
His family? But Joe would never ask them.
You just made another mistake. He asked them all right.
Just hold that second 500. I'll get them.
You figuring on taking that whole crowd on by yourself?
One at a time.
You must want that extra 500 awful bad.
No. No, it's not the 500. It's a personal thing now.
Well, you know, I think Adam's idea will work.
Yeah.
Boss, Adam, how about getting started on that A-frame right away?
Right.
Jake, you should take these group of men down to the unfinished lower section and get it finished right away.
All right, boys, let's get going. I better get a block and falls from camp.
I'll get them. You get down there and make sure they get started. Hey, Jake. Tell them thanks for coming back for me.
We're glad to be back, Joe.
Hey, how about being foreman for me while I'm gone?
Sure, I'd be glad to, boss.
All right, you heard what the boss said. Let's get to work.
Family man.
What do you want, Dave?
Well, now, I thought I wanted some money. But now I want more than that.
All right, exactly what is it that you want?
I wonder what that fine family of yours is gonna think when they come up here and find you. Of course, your pa's got 2 other sons. He won't miss you much.
All right, Dave, come on. Come on.
Let's keep him, Joe.
No.
Thanks, Pa.
What brought this on?
I figured I could take you. Finally had to bring your family in, didn't you?
That's right, I called him.
I guess that's where I made my mistake. I figured they'd let you down. The way my family let me down.
Will you knock it off? I'm sick and tired of hearing the way your family let you down. Did you ever stop to think for 1 minute maybe you let them down? But you might have let a lot of people down. I only hope you're going to understand you're going to get from Sheriff Coffey.
Well, looks like he did it, boy.
No, we did it, Pa.
Gee, look at that. Well, I guess you won't be needing us anymore.
What do you mean I won't be needing you anymore? We're not the 3 greatest workers in the world, but I can't beat the price.
That's sure frying beef, Mr. Cartwright. That's the finest I've seen.
Well, they weathered the trail dry pretty good.
My company is the largest buyer hereabouts. Now, the next time you send a herd through, you be sure to look us up. We pay top dollar.
All right.
Well, they're all 10 and ready for shipping.
Didn't lose a one.
That's a good drive. They're all yours now.
If you boys will step into my office, I'll make out the transfer and bill of sale.
Oh, well, Jim, why don't you make out the papers, and meanwhile, we'll wash away a couple of weeks' worth of trail dust.
All right.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find me a place that's got fresh eggs and vegetables and fruit, and I'm going to eat me so much I can't even push away from the table.
That'll take about 3 days.
Oh, now, come on, little brother. Don't limit me.
That's it.
That's more like it. I'm getting to feel more like my old self again.
You're getting to look like your old self again, too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Rain.
Don't be sorry. Let's keep out of my way.
He's blind, boy.
Yeah. Don't you think you've had enough to drink?
Gavin, I pay you to take care of my ranch, not wet nurse me.
Yes, sir. Now, I say we should get on home.
I say keep your hands off me. Gavin, I just hit you. What are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
Anybody else do that, you'd rip his throat out. Why not me?
You know the answer to that, Mr. Rain.
Don't let these stop you. Hit me. Hit me. Hit me back.
I can't do it.
I want you to. Do you hear me? I want you to. Hit me!
I'm the one who hit you.
From the feel of it, you're a big man.
What he did, I don't call him a big man. I figure you needed that.
You're right. You big enough to take it?
You right or left-handed?
Right-handed.
Put out your left hand. Now, I'm not going to duck away, but I will hit back. And I figure you got the first one coming.
You mean that?
Come ahead.
You hit pretty hard.
Well, I've had it if you have.
It's all washed out of me. I'm grateful to you, Mr.
Cartwright. Ben Cartwright.
Thank you, Ben Cartwright. I'm Matthew Rain.
It'll only take a minute.
Hope I didn't make you feel you had to accept my invitation.
Now, the way I figure it, a man punches me in the nose. The least I can do is have coffee with him at his house.
I feel the same way.
Well, I should be back before dark.
We'll be at the hotel. Yeah, or in the saloon. They serve a mighty fine meal over there.
Don't eat too much. That horse of yours has to carry you over the mountains.
It just might turn out to be the other way around.
Well, we have a whole afternoon to kill.
There's an empty seat in that poker game in there. I think I'm going to fill it.
Yeah, there's an empty bed over there in that hotel room. I think I'll fill it. That fella, Rain, does he remind you of anybody?
I hadn't noticed.
Anybody we know real well?
Yeah. Our Paul.
You're late. I was starting to worry.
No need to. We were detained.
Your face, what happened?
That's what detained us.
Where were you? Why did you let this happen?
Ask him.
Oh, you must feel very proud of yourself.
That'll be enough, Mrs. Loring. Mr. Cartwright is here at my invitation. So long as he's a guest at my house, you'll treat him accordingly.
I'm sorry.
Now that's settled. Run some hot water for us to clean up, then serve the coffee.
Yes, sir.
Stable the horses. Give them an extra measure of grain.
Anything else?
If there is, I'll let you know. You interested in firearms, Mr. Cartwright?
Yes, I am. Appreciate it if you call me Ben.
All right, Ben. After coffee, I'll show you my collection. Used to be a hobby of mine.
How do you like your extra measure of grain?
Mrs. Loring, this is the best pie I've ever tasted. My cook, Hop Sing, would be very jealous of you.
Thank you. If you gentlemen need anything, you call me.
She seems very nice.
She's a good cook. Been with me over 2 years. Sets a fine table. Come over here. What do you think of this?
Ooh. Beautiful piece.
It was a gift from a Raja in India. Used it to bag my first tiger. Oh. It was almost my last, too.
What happened?
Charged straight at me. Got him with a bullet in the heart. He dropped right at my feet.
Things like that age a man.
Oh, about 5 years' worth.
Perfect balance.
How's it fire?
Like to try it and see?
Yes, I would very much.
I'll have Gavin set up the targets. Keep a true line of fire. She'll do the rest. From the sound, I'd say you were a bit high.
Well, you guessed right. It was me, not the rifle.
Try again. Dead center. Fine shooting.
Well, like you said, hold a true line and she does the rest.
May I?
Matthew, are you a gambling man?
Name it.
Well, you know, in artillery, they have spotters who direct the line of fire for the gunners. Now, suppose I act as spotter, and I'll bet you $1 that you can zero in 3 shots.
You got yourself a bet.
Good. It's about 6 inches to the left. And about 3 inches down. That should give us a point to work from. That was about a foot to the right and 6 to 8 inches too high. About an inch or so to the right. That should do it. I guess I'm not a very good spotter. Well, that should be a true line there. About 3 inches down. Hold it. That should have it bracketed.
You won yourself $1.
Oh, no.
Here, take it. Come on, you've won it. Take it.
Matthew, why don't you try it again?
I shouldn't have tried it in the first place. Take $1. Let's go inside. Have a drink before you leave. That kind of bottle I can always hit. Gavin?
Right here, Mr. Rain.
Clean this. Bring Mr. Cartwright's horse out front.
He never said a word.
He never would.
His paintings hang in art galleries all over the world. How long's he been blind?
It started some time ago. He's been totally blind for the last 2 years.
And nothing can be done.
He's been examined by the finest doctors in the world. It's a disease that affects the fluid in the eyes. Matthew Rain will be blind for the rest of his life. I came to work for him when he bought this place. And day by day, Mr. Cartwright, bit by bit, I've watched him draw away from life, into himself. But today, for the very first time, I saw him interested in something, in somebody besides himself.
An artist with such talent.
Why don't you stay on for a few days? He needs somebody like you.
Oh, I'd like to. Just so many things that I simply must get done. I have obligations which
Men like you see a man hurt, wounded, dying, and you rush to help him. You sacrifice time and obligations to help him. But for Matthew Rain, you just pass by and close your eyes. He is also dying.
Yeah, I think you're exaggerating.
Am I, Mr. Cartwright? Am I, or is it just more convenient not to admit it? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
No.
You're a stranger here. It's not your concern.
If you think I could help, You really care, don't you?
Well, it's just that I know what he's going through. Four years ago, I was the mother of 2 beautiful children. The wife of the most wonderful man I love so dearly. There was an epidemic, and I buried them. With them, I buried a part of myself. Oh, what was left breathed, ate, slept, but it had no will, no desire to even go on living. And when I came to work here, I saw another human being who had no desire to live, who was alone. That's when I started to live again. Mr. Cartwright. Mr. Cartwright, if Matthew just had one reason to want to live, if he doesn't...
Well, I don't know what good I can do, but I'll stay and try. Now, if you can get Gavin to ride into town and tell my boys to get along home. Mrs. Loring, in some ways, Matthew Rain is a very lucky man.
Well, you know what I'm going to have to do now? I'm going to have to take my vest off. Ready? All right.
I'll take my night. Put in your castle, too. There. And
Would you care for a sandwich?
No, thank you, Mrs. Loring.
This is in
That should be check.
You dirty bird.
How long we been out?
Oh, about 3 hours.
The way my backside feels, it seems more like 3 days.
Want to take a breather?
I feel fine. Just not used to it is all. Matter of fact, I'm not used to many of the things we've done these last few days.
They've been good days. I've enjoyed them.
Think those boys of yours can take care of things at the Ponderosa?
Well, my big worry is they'll find out they can handle things better than their old man.
Good for a man to have a family. I was always too busy to start one myself.
It's not too late. You'd be a good catch for a woman.
Woman wants a complete man. I don't qualify.
Oh, come on. That isn't so.
Way I feel.
Matthew? Why do you treat Mrs. Loring the way you do?
I treat her same as I do anyone who works for me. She can always leave.
That's the point. She doesn't leave.
She's well paid.
You know, you're blind in more ways than one.
Ben, you say things I wouldn't allow any other man to say.
That's because I speak the truth to you.
All right, Ben. In the future, I will try to be more polite to Mrs. Loring.
Well, that wasn't the point I was trying to make.
Drop it, shall we? You know, I've been many places, all over the world. But this is the most vibrant land I ever found for my brush. When I knew what was happening to my eyes, I wanted to be here. This is one of the last places I was able to see. Ben, what do you see out there? Describe it.
I'm not very good at this.
Try.
All right. Well, there's a meadow over to the left. And the lake is filled from the winter snows.
The colors, Ben. Tell me about the colors.
The land is all green.
There are many different shades of green, Ben. The green of the meadow is like newborn grass after a spring rain. And the dark green of the hillside is like a deep forest shrouded in gray mist. And the trees that watch over the lake are like brown warriors in tattered uniforms. And over us, the sun glints silver on the lake. It dances on the darkness of the water. Until it softens into night. Then, the blue-green stillness. That's how I remember it. Let's go back.
You got company, Mr. Rain.
Who is it?
Said he was from San Francisco. Mrs. Loring is with him in your studio.
All right, take care of the horses. I have some business to transact. Shouldn't take long.
Oh, well, I'll go in and wash up.
Come with me. right. I have to sell one of my paintings. When I started, I lived on nothing. It had its drawbacks, but I was content. When I became recognized, money became something to buy good times with. I spent it as fast as I made it. Now I can't hold a brush. Well, let's see what Mr. Stevens has to offer.
The color. They just seem to leap off the canvas. Mr. Rain's tragic misfortune has been a great loss to the art world.
Mr. Stevens, would you like some coffee? Anything at all to drink?
Nothing, thank you. I'm content merely to drink in the beauty of these works. Mr. Rains, how happy I am to see you. You look marvelous.
This is Mr. Stevens. He's handled the sale of my work for many years.
And quite profitably for both of us, I may add.
This is Mr. Cartwright.
Delighted. Mr. Rain, you'll never know how thrilled I was to receive your letter. Why, do you know I must have at least 5 clients who will be absolutely furious with me unless I notify them instantly when I return to my salon with your painting.
That's fine. Let's get on with it, shall we?
Yes, of course, by all means. Now, which one did you wish to sell?
I hadn't thought about it. Why don't you pick one?
Yes, of course, if you'd prefer. The one with the sea lions. I am positive Mr. Carruthers would pay $3,000 for it.
No, I painted that for a dear friend. He died before it was finished. I don't want to sell it.
Of course. I understand. How about this one of the bear?
Not that one. I knew him intimately. He almost killed me.
This one of the South Seas. I'm sure I could get a fine price for it.
I lived on that island for almost a year. No.
Mr. Rain, I'm afraid I'm not being very helpful. Perhaps if you would choose
Take what you want. I don't want to know which one. Sell it and send me the check.
And why don't you stay here with Mr. Stevens and make the necessary arrangements?
I don't think you should be alone right now.
You'll be all right.
Dan?
Yes, Matthew.
Join me.
All right.
Made a bit of a fool of myself that time.
Oh, I don't think so.
If you had to choose, which of your sons would you give up?
Pretty difficult question.
Maybe it would have been better if I hadn't stopped that bear.
You don't mean that.
Don't I?
That painting of the sea lions. You did that at Carmel in California, didn't you?
How'd you know?
Huh? I recognize the landscape. You know, I was down in Carmel on business once. I can't remember just why. But I do remember walking along the beach one day, and I saw an old battle-scarred sea lion slowly drag himself out of the surf and onto the beach. That old sea lion had just come out of the surf to die. As I watched, there were 2 dogs playing around on the beach, and they spotted him. They attacked him. All that old timer wanted was to be left alone to die. But he reared up and fought those dogs off. With his last remaining strength, he fought them off. And then he laid his head down in the sand and died.
If he wanted to die, why didn't he let the dogs do the job?
Because he wanted to die with dignity. And there's no dignity in giving up when you still have the strength to fight.
I do hope Mr. Rain won't be too upset over my selection. But I know I can get the most for this painting.
Please don't worry. Will you take it to San Francisco with you?
Oh, indeed, yes. However, do you have a crate to carry it in?
Oh, well, I'll have Gavin build one for you. And would it be all right if he brought it to you in town? That way you wouldn't have to wait.
Well, now, that is most thoughtful of you. I'm staying at the hotel. I feel that I've caused enough unhappiness for Mr. Rain. Would you convey my goodbyes?
Yes, I will. And you'll have your painting this evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Are the people that had paid $3,000 for this?
Mm-hmm. And consider themselves very fortunate.
Why? It's only a picture.
Only a picture. There are very few people in the world that can even paint one like it.
It looked like so much to me. What's so great about it?
You better get started on that crate as soon as possible.
Oh, no, you don't.
Gavin, take your hands off me.
Yeah, when I'm ready to. Now, you listen to me good. I don't have much learning, and I don't speak with fancy talk. And I ain't been all around the world, but I am a man. I think like a man, and I act like a man. And there ain't nobody gonna treat me like anything less. Leastwise, not a woman.
Have you finished?
Ann, all I want is for you to be nice to me. That ain't asking too much, is it? Just be nice to me. Be nice!
Stop it! You bore me.
Oh, I do, huh? I bore you. But the rich Mr. Rain, he don't bore you, does he? That's what you want, ain't it? You ain't gonna get that from no blind, half-dead man like Rain.
No.
Did he hurt you?
No. You just frightened me more than anything.
What's been happening here?
Nothing, Mr. Rain.
I have ears. What happened?
Just a little misunderstanding, Matthew. It's all settled now.
Stevens, you still here?
He selected a painting and left just a little while ago.
Your voice. Something's frightened you.
I'm perfectly all right.
Come over here. I said come over here. You're trembling. Now, I want to know what's been happening. Gavin, is that you?
Yes.
What happened?
It's none of your business.
What?
You heard me. It's none of your business.
Did you hurt her? Did you hurt her? Mrs. Loring, he has a week's wages coming. Pay him. And stay away from here.
That's right, Mrs. Loring. You pay me off. You fix his meals. You clean his house. And when he's through with you, someone else can take your place, because he can't do nothing for himself.
You've had your say?
Yeah, I've had it. I'll get me a job, because I gotta earn my way. But tell me something, Mr. Rain. When your paintings are gone, what are you gonna do?
don't even know what color.
Matthew, stop it! Stop it! Stop it! And light the lamp. What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove?
Leave me alone.
Oh, stop feeling sorry for yourself.
What do you mean?
Just that. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out. Sure. So you can destroy everything, including yourself. Is that what you want, to destroy yourself? Well, that's easy. It takes courage to live. What for? To do what you were born to do. I can't! Matthew, a creative man is not a one-sided man.
Don't lecture me like a child.
Then stop acting like a child. Get out. I'll get out after you've listened to me. Get out! You can't see, and now you won't listen. Matthew, don't you understand you have a gift? The gift of being able to create. You have the ability to put on canvas pictures which have brought so much joy to so many people. To create. It's a gift God gives to so few men.
Well, he's taken it away again.
Only one side of it. You can still paint pictures.
How?
And today you described a scene to me. You remember? You described it as you remembered seeing it. But what you were talking about was so much more beautiful than what I was looking at. Don't you understand? You can still paint pictures. Not with a brush. With a pen.
Matthew, he's right. Think of the countless stories you've told me these last 2 years. Beautiful, exciting stories. Why, they just poured out of you. You showed me places I never dreamed existed.
How can I? I don't know how to write.
Did you know how to paint when you started? Try.
How can I? By myself. I need someone.
You have someone.
Anne, would you stay with me? To help me?
For as long as you want me.
Please. Strange. I've known you every day for 2 years. I've never known what you're really like. You're beautiful.
I'm not at all beautiful. I'm a plain-looking, middle-aged woman.
This Anne Loring is beautiful.
Now, ain't that a pretty picture?
What do you want?
Satisfaction, Mr. Rain. That's what I want. That's what I'm going to get.
I thought I told you to leave.
that art dealer. He said that a man would pay $3,000 for one of these pictures. Now, I ain't too smart, but maybe, just maybe, I might find someone to buy them from me and not ask questions on how I got them. You think I'm smart enough for that?
You wouldn't.
Wouldn't I? Well, you just stand there and watch me. You ain't gonna give me any trouble. And don't try to call Cartwright. I'll shoot him if I have to.
Gavin, don't. I'll give you money, all you want.
Money's only part of it.
Don't let go of him, Matthew. Help him.
No. No, if we help him now, he'll need help the rest of his life.
I'm all right.
Yeah, everything seems to be all right.
How is he?
Battered, but he'll recover.
Gavin, do you hear me?
I hear you.
Why do you hate me?
To you, it's just a name you called when you needed something. No, I wasn't even a name. Just a thing. I'm as good as you are. I'm a man, too. I'm a human being, and you had no right to think I was anything else.
Well, I'll take him into town to the sheriff.
No. You're right, Gavin. These past 2 years, I've been so wrapped up in self-pity, I had no room left inside me for any other emotion. I don't feel that way now. Gavin, I'm sorry. Ben, let him go. You know, when I heard those 2 shots and realized how close I was to death, I knew I wanted to live.
Just staying alive sometimes makes other problems kind of unimportant.
Thanks to you and Anne. And Gavin.
Matthew, I've just got to get on home.
We will see you again, won't we?
Yes, many times.
I hope many times. And do you have anything left of that pie you baked yesterday?
I'm sure I have.
Well, let's have some of it and some coffee. How's that sound, Ben?
Sounds wonderful.
And while we're eating, I have a story to tell you. About the time I rode around the Great Wall of China on the back of a jackass.
Sure is hot, Cartwright. No relief in sight either.
Scorcher, all right. That's what's worrying me.
Worrying about the weather won't do any good.
The weather may prevent my son House from getting here with the cash on time.
Got to 5 o'clock.
Mr. Owner, is there any possibility of extending that deadline?
I've told you, Mr. Cartwright. We've already got another offer for that land in cash. Now, I can't risk losing that to extend your option.
I could pick up that option right this second if you'd only accept my bank draft for $12,000. I don't understand you being so stubborn about it.
Look, since the drought set in, we've accepted too many drafts that have turned out to be no good. Like this one here. I've got a whole drawer full of them. I'm sorry, but my clients insist on cash.
Cash. It wasn't such a good piece of land.
But it is, Mr. Cartwright. And you know it.
Yes, sir. Sure is a hot one.
All right, don't make a move. Name's Stedman. I'm the county sheriff.
Well, I'm sure glad to see you. Getting a little jumpy with a lone rider coming up on me out here.
What do you got to be jumpy about?
Well, I mean, with the drought being what it is, there's quite a few hard cases roaming around.
Yeah.
Sorry about the gun. How about a cup of coffee? What's that for?
I like to have a look in those saddlebags. Any objection?
I don't reckon I have much choice, do I, Sheriff?
Move back. You've got a lot of money here.
I'm delivering it to Scottsburg for my pa. It's a land deal.
You can prove that.
Of course I can.
Suppose you come with me and we do that.
Come where?
Dutchman's Flats, about 8 miles yonder.
Sheriff, look, I gotta be in Scottsburg at 5 o'clock this afternoon.
You'll make it. Unless we stand here all day arguing about it.
What are you gonna charge me with?
I could charge you with building a fire on range land. Or something more serious.
Like what?
Like maybe you're part of the gang that held up the bank at Dutchman's Flats and killed the teller. Now, you want to get on your horse and let's get this thing over with?
Well, it sure ain't much of a town, is it?
It's a hot one, I'll say that. Think you could stand a cold beer?
Yeah.
Morning, Milt.
Morning, Jess.
I can't remember it being so hot for so long.
Too long. Everything's burnt to a crisp.
Yeah, that's very...
Jesse.
Now, Milt, I know what you're going to say.
I must ask you again. If I can't extend credit, the farmers and ranchers are going to have to move out. And I can't do anything about that unless you give me a loan.
Milt, you know as well as I do that since the robbery, the bank is almost without funds.
Jesse, you've just got to do something. You're the banker in this town. People depend on you for help.
Well, don't you think I know that?
Well, then why don't you do something? What are you just sitting around for?
Now, wait a minute. I'm getting sick and tired of you and everybody else in this town blaming me for this robbery. I lost as much, if not more, than anybody. Remember, it was my own son-in-law who was shot and killed. Now, that's all you have on your mind, Milt.
I'm sorry, Jesse. It's just that I've got to say no to all those farmers that come to the store all the time. I told them I'd talk to you.
What they don't understand is there's nothing I can do. If I only had a little more time, I've tried to negotiate a loan from every bank in this territory. But everybody is hit as hard with this drought as we are.
Then I say this town is going to die. Just as sure as that dang sun comes up every morning. How's Mary Ann?
How do you think she is? Her husband dead?
Good day, Mary Ann. It's nice to see you about again.
Well, Conley?
I'm sorry, Larson.
Wait a minute, don't give me that.
The bank just turned me down.
Look, I got a house full of kids, and I'm not going to let them go hungry.
I can't give you what I haven't got.
And I got it right from a feller that talked to a feller who knew the brother of one of the men that was right there.
Barkeep, it was 2 beers.
You know what he told me? I'll tell you what he told me, son. He told me there was grasshoppers. Millions of them. 50 miles north of here. Just chewing up everything in sight.
All right,
You know what?
Here's money.
Them grasshoppers is going to be down on us as sure as shooting.
There ain't no grasshoppers north of here, mister.
Who told you that?
Ain't nobody told us that. We just rode through there yesterday.
I say there's grasshoppers up there, millions of them.
And I say there ain't. That storekeeper, that no good tightwad hypocrite, he won't give anybody any credit.
Well, it's the drought. That's what's the trouble, Ned.
It's that bank robber laid this town low. I tell you, them robbers got all their money.
Yeah, there's nothing being done about him. Sheriff Stedman, he's riding all around the country, finding nothing.
You leave the sheriff out of it. I work for him, and he's a good man. If he'd only let me wear a gun.
Yeah, I know.
I was in the bank the day it happened. I could have prevented the whole thing.
Yeah, Shooky, it's too hot to go through all that again.
but I mean...
I've heard it 900 times in the last few weeks.
Yeah, but I still could have prevented the whole thing.
Fight! 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 I'm coming!
Million grasshoppers?
Yeah.
It's too dang hot to fight about grasshoppers.
Well, you're right. Have a beer.
Hey, Barber. Hey, McCrae, listen. Stedman's caught himself a good one this time.
You mean that fella he brought in a while ago?
Yeah, he had bet him $20,000 in gold in his saddlebag.
You know who he is?
Well, his name is Cartwright or something like that. Listen, I'll see you later, okay?
Hey. He must be the one. Hey, make yourselves home. I'll be right back.
$20,000, huh?
Well, you're not in any of these wanted posters.
That ain't too surprising. Sheriff, are you going to send that telegram or not?
Yep. I guess I'll send it now.
I wish it wasn't so blasted hot.
Oh, Sheriff.
What's on your mind?
I just want to congratulate you.
About what?
Oh, now, don't be so modest. Here, let's step in out of the heat for a minute. Sit down, Sheriff. Take a load off your feet.
No, thanks. I haven't got much time.
Larson tells me you caught us a big-time desperado.
You mean that Cartwright fellow?
That's right. The whole town's talking about it. That was pretty slick, catching him red-handed that way without even having to fire a shot. And I hear he was carrying 25,000 in bullion.
12,000 to be exact.
Just about what they took from the bank.
Just about. But that doesn't make him one of the robbers.
No, but if he did turn out to be one of the robbers, that'd be quite a feather in your cap. Might even change this town's opinion of you.
I'm going to send a telegraph to Scottsburg. If they back up his story, I'm going to let him go.
Sheriff, just having that fellow in jail has had quite a stimulating effect on this town. Do you have to be in all that hurry to sense it?
Hey, Tom, I just telling Connolly about that fellow you caught.
Yeah, sure sounds like he could be one of the fellows who robbed the bank.
All I know about him is what he's told me.
You know, Sheriff, I never thought you'd do it.
Do what?
Well, do something about them robbers that ruined this town.
Yeah.
Well, we believe you now, Sheriff. And when the next elections come up, we'll be remembering it.
We'll just do more than that. We'll buy you a drink right now.
No,
Come on, Sheriff.
Some checking.
Come on. Let's go.
Come on,
Let's
let's
drink.
do it.
Come on.
Well, howdy, Sheriff. Glad to see you. Let me buy you a drink.
Yeah, aye, Sheriff. You deserve a free drink. You know, it's all around town that you're pretty sure that Cartwright's one of the gang that robbed the bank.
I didn't say that.
Well, you're not saying he ain't either.
It's all right, Sheriff. Shooky said he recognized him.
Did Shooky say that?
Well, not in so many words, but we knew what he meant.
Well, just having him in jail makes me feel a lot better.
Me too. Gotta hand it to you, Tom.
Thanks for the beer, man. I got to send a telegraph.
Hello, Sheriff. I was just sitting here keeping an eye on things.
Thanks, Shooky. Shooky, have you been telling folks around town that this fellow we got in here is one of the bank robbers?
Well, I was in the bank when it happened, you know.
You could identify him as one of the gang.
Well, no, I didn't say that. I just said that one of the robbers was a big fella, is all.
If he was to go on trial, would you swear before a judge that he was there?
Yes, sir. I could rightfully say that one of the robbers was a big fella and that he killed Fillmore's son-in-law.
You could, huh?
Sheriff, are you going to hold him for trial?
I don't know. I got to do some checking. You stay here.
You mean sit here and guard a desperate killer without a gun?
Behind bars?
Oh, nevertheless, it just ain't right. I just know that if I had a gun that day in the bank, I could have prevented the whole robbery.
Sure you could.
Sheriff?
Mr. Fillmore, I've been puzzling.
What did you mean when you said not to be in any hurry to identify that prisoner?
Oh, it wasn't important, Tom. I just figured that maybe what this town needed was a good kick in the britches to get moving again. And just having this fellow in jail might do just that.
It hasn't been proven that he was one of the gang.
I know that, Tom. But there's no harm in him just sitting there, is there?
No. Tell me, if it turned out that he was one of the gang, what would happen?
He'd go to trial, of course.
I know that. What I mean is the money.
It would come back to the bank.
That'd just about put this town back on its feet, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. And you would be the man who did it. Marianne, honey, you shouldn't be out in this heat.
Mr. Connolly told me you caught the man who killed my husband.
I'm afraid everybody's jumping to conclusions. Sure, I have a suspect, but so far I haven't any proof.
Proof? Everyone in town knows he's the one who did it. Are you just going to sit around doing nothing as usual?
Now, Marianne, the sheriff has done all he could.
Has he?
Your husband was a friend of mine.
Honey, I don't want you to upset yourself. These last few days, you seem to be coming out of it. I don't want you to start brooding again.
I'm going over to the jail and see the man who shot Ed.
Now, you heard the sheriff say that he had no proof that it was the killer.
Will you come with me or not? Is this the man who killed my husband?
I told you before, Mrs. Wilson, we're not sure.
Ma'am, I ain't killed nobody.
Get Shuki Summers in here.
Now, Marianne, don't make a fuss.
He was in the bank at the time of the killing. Maybe he can identify him.
I've already talked to him about it. Now, I think we ought to let Shuki make his identification at the proper time. If we go dragging him in here now, we're liable to scare him into making a mistake.
Sheriff, my husband has been dead for weeks. Will you please get Shuki in here and let him prove whether this man is the killer or not?
Get him, Sheriff. He can tell you I'm not the killer. And maybe you'll let me out of here.
Shuki,
Yes, Sheriff.
we want to see if you can identify the prisoner as the man that killed Ed Wilson.
Sheriff,
Shuki, come on. Just go right over here.
You see Mrs. Wilson?
Come on, Shuki. Take a good look at it. Now, look. Now, Shuki, you look at him and see if he isn't the man. Look at him.
Well, it's been a little while ago.
Oh, Shuki, you were the only one who was in the bank at the time. Don't you recognize him?
But I didn't get a good look at him.
You never saw me before today in your life. Now, you tell him that.
Shuki, you be sure.
Oh, Shuki, you're the only one who can help me. Now, please. You know he's the man. Please help me.
Yep. That's the one I saw, all right.
I can't understand it. I shall be here by now.
Maybe you never got your telegram.
I better check on that.
You know, you still got a little time on your option.
Well, right now, the option isn't important. My son is. Except for your stubbornness about cash, I wouldn't have to be worrying about him now.
I'm sorry, but that's the way it had to be.
Well, I thought I recognized him when he first came into town.
Yeah, well, you sure did the town a great favor, Shuki.
Yeah, you sure did all right, Shuck.
You know, that means we might get our money back.
Yeah, good for you.
Come on, we'll take it down by your beer.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, no, I gotta stay in. He wants me to stay.
Wait a minute. Here, come on. Let the widow through here, fellas. Come on. Right through here. Let the widow in. Oh, Tom, how about letting us take a look at him, huh?
Yeah, how about it, Sheriff? All right, now, boys.
Let's get...
No, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. We gotta do this orderly now. Okay, now. All right, you go. Yeah, you go.
You thief and murderer.
Don't talk to the prisoner. Keep it moving.
They're gonna hang you, sure.
I said don't talk to the prisoner. Keep it moving now. Let everybody have a chance here. Don't talk.
When's the trial going to be, Sheriff?
Circuit judge won't be around for a few weeks.
That'll be something. And the hanging. I don't want to miss that.
I'm afraid you won't see that, McCrae.
Keep it moving.
Why not?
He held up at the prison.
Was that for sure?
For sure.
Shoot. I was counting on that hanging.
What happens to all that money?
Go back to the bank as soon as the judge releases it.
Why can't you go to the bank now? The town could sure use it.
Because it's a law. That money stays right in that safe until the prisoner's found guilty.
It's a shame. Seeing as how it's our money.
Don't talk to the prisoner. Keep it moving.
That's a shame, McCrae. Why don't you get out of here?
Shooky, get these fellas out of here. All right, now, everybody, keep moving. Everybody, out. Everybody. Come on, Horace.
Just the thought of that Cartwright makes my blood boil. Him and that $50 horse.
Yeah, well, I've been thinking of Cartwright, too. Can't you just imagine the high life he's been living? The liquor he's drunk, the women, the fine food he's been eating. Oh, he's had it real good. You can bet on that.
That's his gravity, though. All that stolen blood money. He ain't gonna get away with it.
Oh, he's probably gonna get off.
My law wouldn't allow anything like that to happen.
Yeah, men like him use the law, Ned. You get a smart lawyer and...
Yeah, sure. Now, why didn't I think of that? Them outlaws know all the ins and outs. Why, they could even...
That's what I mean.
Well, he can't get away with that. It's up to good people in this town to see that he don't.
Nothing's gonna happen. Unless maybe you got an idea, Ned?
Well, might have. Yeah, just might have.
I never seen it so hot. You know, Tibbs, that old jail over there ain't nothing but an old broken-down cracker box.
Yeah.
20,000. Sure is a powerful lot of money.
That's a lot more than I've ever seen.
Me too. You thinking what I'm thinking?
When it gets dark.
Quiet down now, boys. Boys, Ned Larson here's got something important to say.
Yeah, I sure do. Listen, that thief and murder's sitting up in our jail. That Cartwright fella's gonna get off scot-free if we give him half a chance.
He's right.
Ed Wilson was a friend of yours, and he's a friend of mine. I say it's up to us to punish the fella that shot him down in cold blood. I say we take care of that fella ourselves.
That's right, Ned.
What's all the shouting about?
I ain't sure, but I got a pretty good idea.
Sheriff, you gotta do something about it. I mean, they're up there talking about a lynching.
Lynching? Oh, that's probably just talk.
Not just talking. I mean, they're gonna do it. They're talking about putting a rope around his neck and lynching him. Sheriff, you gotta do something about it.
You're drunk. Now, you get inside, get some coffee, and sober up. I'm gonna need you. And you get over to that saloon and try to talk some sense into those fellas.
You're the sheriff, Tom. Isn't that your job?
There's a telegraph we didn't send that just might have proved that man in there's innocent.
Hey, what's all the ruckus out there?
Nothing. Just some of the fellas whooping it up a little is all.
Huh? How come you ain't whooping it up?
Oh, Sheriff said he wanted me to stay here. He said he needed my help.
Your help, huh? Like the way you put the finger on me? Least you can do is give me a cup of that coffee.
Sure. Here you go.
Thanks. Why did you do it, little man?
Cartwright, put him down. Now, you go get some sleep tomorrow.
Ain't a man here didn't know Ed Wilson. There wasn't a finer man in this town than Ed Wilson. Now, how many of you fellas got hurt when this Cartwright fella stole all your money out of the bank? We gonna let him get away with it? No. Well, I say we ought to string him up right here and now.
Listen to me. Listen.
Oh, you shut up, Fillmore.
I won't.
Well, then get out of here.
Let's listen to what he has to say. Men, we cannot take the law into our own hands.
Oh, wait a minute. You're gonna listen to a man who won't help his own neighbors?
No.
You're gonna listen to a tight-fisted money grubber that won't give any of us any credit?
I can't give you any credit. I haven't anything left to give. Now, Ed Wilson was my son-in-law. And if he were here now, he would say to all of you, don't stain my name with blood.
I agree with Mr. Fillmore. Now, you keep out of this, Conley.
Now, please, all of you, go home. Before you do something you'll regret for the rest of your lives.
Come on, I'll buy you a drink.
That's Fillmore. Oh, money bags.
I shouldn't have listened to him. He don't care if this town dies.
Yeah? Forget it. It's all over. Might as well go home.
Buy you fellers one more drink on the house.
All right, Ned.
Might as well. Nothing gonna happen anyhow. That Cartwright's gonna go free. And tomorrow, things are gonna be just the same. It's gonna be hot. What happened, Sheriff? What happened?
Two fellas busted in here and tried to free that Cartwright.
Is that true, Sheriff?
We heard them coming, and me and the sheriff drove them off, but one of them winged the sheriff.
We'll organize a posse and take after him, Sheriff.
Go on home.
We'll get some guns and be right back, Sheriff.
I catch you with guns, you're going to be right in there with him. Shirky, go down to the saloon and get me some whiskey for this arm.
Right, Sheriff.
What were those shots?
Cartwright's gang tried to bust him out of jail.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna be just a question of time till somebody come up here and tried to bust him out of here. Now you want to make one of your fancy speeches about the law taking its course?
Now listen to me.
Don't you now listen to me, Moneybags, and you keep out of this. You're gonna wish you had. Let's round everybody up and meet at the saloon.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You all right, Tom?
I'll live.
You think those men were really trying to get Cartwright out of here?
Well, it's a cinch they were trying to get in here for something.
Well, that could prove that he was guilty, couldn't it?
It also proved that they were after that $12,000 I got there in the safe.
Sheriff, I had no connection with those two men, and you know it.
You're a liar. A dirty, rotten liar.
Marianne, I wish you would stay out of this.
I can't stay out of it.
Now, listen to me. Tom is still not sure that we have the right man.
Not sure. Well, I don't care if you're sure or not, because he's gonna get it. You're gonna get it, big man. You might be able to fool my father and the sheriff here, but not for long, because there are other men in this town, real men, and they're not... You listen to me. They're not gonna let you get away with it. They're gonna come in here and drag you out, and they're gonna put a rope around your neck for killing my Ed.
Marianne.
Don't touch me!
Hey, Sheriff, the men's gathering around the saloon talking lynching again.
Shut up. What's he talking about, Sheriff? What's all that talk about lynching?
Just some of the boys down at the saloon got too much of this loud mouth. I can handle it.
You can handle it. Sheriff, you know I ain't guilty. You know it.
I said I could handle it.
You got nothing to worry about it. Didn't me and the sheriff drive off those fellas and try to bust you out
I
here?
told you I didn't have nothing to do with them fellas. Look, Sheriff, you and me can sneak out of here the back way and take a little ride over to Scottsburg, and my pa will prove to you who I am.
Oh, you think he's gonna go riding through the night with you and let something else happen?
Will you shut up? What kind of a man are you anyhow, Sheriff? A mob down there talking about lynching, and you ain't even willing to try to find out who I am.
Well, them men busting in here prove pretty much who you are.
Shooky, shut up. Go close the door and lock it.
Where's McRae with that rope?
Fillmore, you go home.
Please, Ned, we're not sure he's guilty. We're still not sure.
Well, maybe you're not sure, but we're sure. We've been sure all the time.
Listen, you're not bad.
Money back. I told you to keep out of this. Now you go home. Will you go home? Go home!
I got a nice thick one. Strong enough to hang a steer. Are you ready?
Take all the money.
Come in here and take our money.
Shut up, everybody! This ain't a carnival. We got a job to do.
So help me God.
All right, Shooky. You're a deputy, and here's that gun you've always wanted.
What do you want me to do?
You're going to uphold the law, and that includes resisting lynchers.
Oh, I can't do that. I mean, Lawson and McRae, they're our friends.
When you're a deputy or a sheriff, you got no friends.
Who is it and what do you want? Ben Cartwright, let me in.
You hold him, Mike. Paul!
What the devil's going on here?
Get his gun, Shooky.
I want to talk to my son. Was he all right?
Fine, Paul.
What's happening here? I just came by the saloon. They're talking about lynching. What did you do?
Paul, I didn't do nothing. Their bank was robbed here several days ago, and a fella got killed, and the sheriff, he thinks it's me. put me in here and put our money over there in that safe.
Sheriff, this is my son.
Well, your son is suspected of murder.
How do we know you ain't part of his gang? Two of them tried to bust him out of here. Shot the sheriff in the arm doing it.
Chucky, shut up. Go outside and see what's going on.
You all out of your minds.
If your son's innocent, he'll go free.
What about that mob out there? Are they going to wait for any proof of innocence? What about them?
We'll take care of them.
Who? How? You and your deputy alone?
Let's get it done.
Yeah.
Let's go. Here they come, Sheriff.
You stay here. I'll talk to them.
Talk to them. A simple telegraph could have established my son's identity. I got a telegraph from somebody called Fillmore. That's how I knew he was here.
Fillmore sent you a telegraph?
Yes, at Scottsburg.
Bolt this out.
Just a minute, folks.
We think we just got proof that the man we got locked up in there is not the man that shot Ed Wilson.
A little late for that, Sheriff.
If he does turn out to be innocent, you're going to be sorry about this tomorrow.
Quit talking, Tom. Get him out here.
I can't do that.
Now, you don't get out of the way, you ain't gonna be sheriff no longer.
But I'm sheriff now. So you folks go on home now.
Gonna shoot us, Tom? People that elected you to office?
Try me.
Tom, these your friends and neighbors. Get those keys, McRae. You stand right still, Biggin.
Come on, Pete.
Come on, get him out of here.
Just give me 1 minute. You want to take a man's life, my son's life. Now, let me tell you something. You don't want to take his life. You want the money that was stolen from this town. Well, in that jailhouse, there's money. A lot of it. It belongs to me, but you can have it. All of it. Just give my son 1 more day. Let him stay in that jail for 1 more day while I prove his innocence, and then you can keep the money. No strings attached. Just give me the time.
Money. That's all you think about, the money. No one thinks about my husband. No one thinks about Ed. Don't you see, this is a trick. It's a trick to stall for time. They broke that man out of jail once a day, and they're going to try it again. Are you going to let it happen?
Larson, listen to me. What this man has said is right. You're all my friends and neighbors. I know how you feel, but please, don't do this terrible thing.
I say hang them. Hang both of them.
Cut him down.
Oh, you're all alike. You're do-nothings. You're cowards. Well, I'm not. The man who killed my husband isn't going to get away with this.
Marianne, no.
Somebody get a doctor.
All right, you satisfied? Get on home.
Now, you lie down easy now.
It's not a bad town, Mr. Cartwright. It's just that they quit being people for a while because they're hot and they're dry and they're broke.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, son.
Howdy.
Boy, is this the home of Benjamin Cartwright?
Yes, sir.
Tether my horse.
Now, this man you're looking for, you say you lost track of him 10 years ago.
That's correct. His sister recently received a first letter from him, postmarked Virginia City, in which he stated that he sometimes does odd jobs at the largest ranch in the vicinity. I've ascertained that your Ponderosa fits that description.
Yeah. Oh, one of my sons, Hoss. Hoss, I'd like you to meet Colonel Dunwoody.
We've already met.
If I may ask, why do you want this man?
He's wanted for desertion by the United States Army 10 years ago at Snake River. My orders are to return him to Washington for a military court-martial.
After 10 years?
There's no statute of limitations on desertion.
Well, you haven't told us the man's name, sir.
Well, I consider it extremely unlikely that he was used his right name. However, fortunately, I have a daguerreotype. You recognize him?
It's hard to tell. Picture's pretty faded. The man is at least 10 years old, but people change. And
He can't have changed that much.
we hire a lot of extra help in the Ponderosa. They come and go. With your permission, Colonel, I'd like to keep this and do some checking.
May I remind you, gentlemen, that withholding information from the federal government on a case of this kind is subject to rather severe penalties. If you have any information, I will be at the Virginia City Hotel. Good day, gentlemen.
It's Bill Winters, Paul. I'm gonna go warn him.
You'll do no such thing.
But Paul, we've known Bill 10 years. We're not gonna let the colonel take him.
Colonel says he's a deserter.
Yeah, but why did he desert?
Hey, Pa! Hoss! Get out here, quick!
I just rode in and found him hanging over the rail.
Let's get him into the house. Hang out at the bottom of that house.
It's been a long time since I had any trouble with Indians.
Shoshone.
All I can say is he was mighty lucky. Thinking of going in 2 inches lower to gone all the way through him.
Yeah, but we got a problem.
What do you mean?
Well, we tell the Colonel about Bill Winters, or don't we?
Of course we don't.
That means that we're withholding information from the government.
I'm not sure we should get mixed up in this.
Paul, the way we know Bill, we ain't got no choice.
Now, who on earth could possibly gain anything by bringing to trial a man who refused to massacre innocent women and children?
I could, Mr. Cartwright.
Colonel, you shouldn't be out of bed yet.
Oh, evidently not. Did that statement surprise you?
Frankly, yes.
It shouldn't. You see, I was the commanding officer who ordered that so-called massacre at Snake River.
Gotcha. Now it's your turn. Can't catch me. Yes, I can.
Good morning, Ben.
Morning, Maria.
All right, hey. Stop making so much noise. Can't you see your father is talking to Mr. Cartwright?
Oh, we were just playing, Ma.
Yeah, well, you just play somewhere else, huh? Go on. You too.
Can't catch me. I
You stay for a cup of coffee?
Oh, thank you kindly, Maria. I had breakfast just before I came over.
Well, then you can use a cup of good coffee. Hop Sing is a pretty fair cook, but coffee is not one of his specialties.
Well, if it isn't too much trouble.
No trouble at all. Long about now, Bill's about due for his 14th cup.
Oh, don't just stand there talking, woman.
How am I going to teach the children any manners when their father just hasn't got any? Good morning, Father. I've got some breakfast for you inside.
Morning, Wayoka. Does he know?
All Shoshones know. He knew 5 minutes after the Colonel arrived in town.
Figured it'd probably be a waste of time, but had to come over and tell you anyway. What do you aim to do?
I don't know, Ben.
He's bound to find out where you are.
I realize that. I want to thank you for going to all this trouble. You never asked to hear my side of it yet.
That's up to you, Bill.
I was his lieutenant. I was second in command. When he told me that he planned on making a surprise attack against the Shoshone village, the Snake River, I told him, I said I was ready to fight Indians, but not to make war against women and children. He told me I was sentimental. He said that the only thing he wanted to do was to make sure that no white settler was ever molested by an Indian again. Now, this he proposed to do by setting an example, one example, a horrible example that all Indians would remember.
That's true. He deliberately set out to destroy the village.
Deliberately. He also informed me that as a soldier under his command, I had no right to question his orders.
I beg you don't have to say that.
No. I want to tell you, Ben. That night, I sneaked out of the camp, and I went down toward the Shoshone village. First one I ran into was Maria. She was washing some clothes down by the river. I put my hand over her mouth, and I told her to run and tell the people what was going to happen. As a result, some of the people escaped with their lives, including Maria and her father. Unfortunately, the majority of them had no reason to trust a white man. They stayed on. Oh. I can still hear the sounds. The Shoshone have never forgotten. I'm afraid your guest is in very dangerous territory.
Bill, please come here. Hurry.
What's the matter? Ben, get your horse. Come with me.
Bring you something to eat. Colonel, I'm sorry. I just don't understand you. How can you dog a man for 10 years?
Time has nothing to do with his crime. He should have been punished long ago. And his desertion was a blot on my record as a commander. A humiliation I have endured for 10 years. Well, I intend that humiliation to end.
You're perfectly willing to sacrifice this man to justify your slaughtering an entire Indian tribe.
I understand from my inquiries in town that your own mother was killed with an Indian arrow.
You go warn the colonel. I'm going to circle the house.
Colonel, you all right? That man just saved your life.
That's also the man who deserted me at Snake River.
How can you be sure after all these years?
Mr. Cartwright, I can recognize my own son.
Your son?
Yes, is that so strange?
Yes. It seems strange when a man is so intent on destroying his own flesh and blood.
Then I suggest that you read your Bible, Mr. Cartwright, the story of Abraham. It is now apparent to me that you were familiar with the object of my search all the time. You men now have a choice. You can lead me to my objective, or you can suffer the consequences of your own obstructionist tactics. I will give you 1 hour to decide.
Bill, do you want me to pack our things into the wagon?
And run? Where would we go to, honey?
We could go up.
No. For 10 years now, I've been afraid of this. Every street I walk down, every morning when I get up. No, if it's gonna come, I want to get it over with.
No, Bill. No. We can go away. We can go up into the mountains. We can go so high they'll never find us. Members of my tribe would take us in. They'll protect you. And the children.
Maria, there's something I haven't told you yet.
What is the meaning of this? Why do you break into my house like animals?
Let him deny what he has done. You come with us.
By whose order?
By order of Keokuk, chief of the Shoshone.
No! For what reason? What for?
Tell her. Tell her how you saved the life of the killer of our people. Tell her!
I know that. I sent him. If you had killed the colonel, it would only bring further reprisals against our people.
No. Tell her the real reason you saved him.
That is the real reason, Maria. To prevent further reprisals. But also because he's my father.
Almost up.
Yeah. Just can't understand a man feeling that way about his own son.
Well, he gave her the answer. Abraham was willing to sacrifice his son to God, but the colonel's God is duty.
I can respect a man's sense of duty, but I always figured that in a good soldier it was tempered with some kind of understanding.
Well, I would say the colonel's qualifications as a good soldier leaves a great deal to be desired.
That won't stop me from trying to reason with him.
You'll be wasting your breath.
Ben! Mr. Cartwright, let me in. Help me.
Maria, come in.
Ben, help me. They took Bill. They came and took him away.
Who took him?
Shoshone.
Oh, well, Maria, they probably took him away to protect him.
To kill him.
I would doubt that.
Yes. They'll kill him because he's got your blood in him.
That may be, but they won't kill him. They won't risk another lesson like Snake River.
Why did you come here? Haven't you done enough to us?
I have no interest in your people. I came to take my son back to Washington to face up to his crime.
Crime? You talk about crime? You murderer.
Now, you go back to your people, and you tell them that if they harm my son, they'll face a worse punishment than they knew 10 years ago.
I wish you were dead. I wish Running Wolf had killed you last night.
She's like all Indians. All emotion, no intelligence.
That girl is your son's wife.
You confess you are the son of the blood enemy of our people.
He was your enemy, but that was 10 years ago, Chief. Now, that was the time of war between the Shoshone and the white man. This is a time of peace.
He talks of peace, while the bones of our women and children rot on the plains.
And their murderer dares come back to mock us.
You are quick to forget what your father has done.
I think it is you who forget, oh wise shaman. You forget it was I who deserted the white man's camp to warn you. You forget to whom you owe your life. Did you forget too, Chief?
Whatever you have done, you remain a white man and the son of your father.
I am more Shoshone than I am white man. Have I not married into your tribe? Wayoka? Wayoka, am I not a good husband to your daughter? A good father to your grandchildren?
Then what of my grandchildren? Those whose cries I can still hear?
Chief Keokuk, you're a great warrior. Now, you were wise in the ways of war. What my father did, he did as a soldier, as a way of war.
Massacre is the way of a soldier?
You know, terrible as it was, I have come to understand that my father wished to set an example to end this conflict with the Indians once and for all.
Kill him! Kill him now!
Silence! It is the way of the white man's government to end war by killing women and children. And it also will be Keokuk's way by killing the son of the white warrior who killed our sons. You who have such great understanding will know that Keokuk bears you no ill will and is grateful for past favors. But by the time the sun rises once more in the east, you will die. Keokuk has spoken.
Keokuk has spoken.
He knows. He knows, but he will not speak. Will you tell me where they have taken my husband?
He is not your husband.
He's not my husband. Then those are not my children. They have never been born. They do not exist, huh?
Better for them if that were so.
Hear me, old man. This is no time for games and secrets. You tell me where you've taken him.
He will die before another sun has risen.
They cannot kill their friend.
Shame and disgrace. It was not your fault, my daughter. You did not know.
No. I only know that I love him.
Don't say that.
I don't care who he is. I just know what he has been to me, to the children, and to you, and all the Shoshone.
Better to have died than to owe my life to such a man.
I love him more because he had the strength to do what he did. Tell me where they've taken him.
I cannot say.
You will tell me!
I cannot say!
Then get out of my house! He is still my husband, but you are no longer my father. I order you to go.
Rhea, you know he can't tell you. Wayoka, I want you to arrange a parley between Chief Keokuk and me.
It will serve no purpose.
Let me be the judge of that. The Shoshone know me as a friend. I ask as a favor.
I will try.
That's all I can ask.
I make no promises. I cannot speak for Keokuk.
Then how am I to know?
Return to your home and wait. I will deliver your message.
taking their time sending an answer.
And I'm afraid you're wasting yours, Paul. As soon as they find out Bill's his son, they're going to be up.
They're going to be right here.
Yeah? What makes you so sure?
The colonel's the man they want, and the colonel is here.
If Keokuk agrees to see me, he won't do anything until after we've talked. I know him.
Well, I hope you're right.
Put the gun away, Adam.
Yes, I quite agree. Firearms will not be necessary.
I'm a little surprised in you, Colonel. I figured with your son being held prisoner by the Shoshone, you'd get a troop of cavalry together and storm them like you did at Snake River that time and finish up the job.
That'll do, Hoss.
Have you thought what you're going to say to Keokuk?
I'm going to plead for your son's life. And to remind them that Bill's their friend. We're all their friends.
Won't work.
It's worth a try.
Bad strategy. You'll gain nothing by telling Chief Keokuk Bill's his friend. He knows that. He's not going to kill him because he hates him, but because he's my son. That's his way of answering my attack on his village. There's only one thing that can influence a mind like Keokuk's. My life in exchange for my son's.
Well, that's very interesting, Colonel. I didn't think you had a father's feeling for a son.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. The move is not an emotional one. It's based on strategy.
Well, it's ridiculous. We're certainly not going to exchange one life for another.
And I'm afraid, sir, you do not understand the Indian mind as well as I do.
But I think I understand it well enough to know that I have a chance to plead for Bill's life, but if I had to plead for yours, it'd be hopeless.
Looks like you're going to get your answer, Paul.
I'm going outside, Colonel. I think you'd better stay in here.
You're wasting your time.
You sent a message. You wish to speak with me.
I'd intended to go to see Keokuk. I'm honored that he's come to see me.
And about what did you wish to parley?
Well, you know that. About our friend, Bill Winters.
You surprise me, Ben Cartwright. You've always been a friend to Keokuk and to the Shoshone. But you already know I will not parley about the son of the man who murdered my people.
One moment.
Hold!
I told you he wouldn't listen to you. But I have a bargain that will appeal even to your kind, if you will hear me.
I will hear you.
My life in exchange for my son's.
It is a trick.
I said you can't do this.
I am going to do it. Well, it's a simple enough bargain. And one that you should like very much.
It is well. Tomorrow, at the setting of the sun, the soldier with the pale eyes will present himself at the Shoshone camp. And the other will be released.
No, first you release my son. Then I will surrender myself to you.
You wish us to release the cub so that we might capture the lion. Why should we believe you?
Why should I believe you? You can kill two as easily as one.
Enough of this! Tomorrow, at the setting of the sun, the prisoner will be taken to the front gate of his home. You, Ben Cartwright, Keokuk Trust, you will bring the murderer of my people, and there the bargain will be made. Otherwise, your son will die there.
Shoot down! Shoot down!
That was a devil's bargain you made, Colonel.
What do you mean a devil's bargain? If somebody's got to die at a heap, I'd rather be the colonel as Bill Winters.
I don't think that's what he meant.
What did you mean, Paul? You think the colonel's got some sort of a scheme?
No, I think he's perfectly willing to give up his own life for his son.
And if he dies, what do you think's going to happen to Keokuk and the rest of his people?
Yeah. I reckon the Army would wipe them out, wouldn't they? But won't they do the same thing if they kill Bill?
Bill is a deserter from the Army. Probably go unnoticed. But if the colonel dies, there'll be a pretty big to-do about it. And he knows it.
You mean he's willing to die just so more Indians will die?
I think the colonel intends to do exactly what he came out here to do. No matter what it takes, he'll see to it that his son is returned to Washington for court-martial. And that includes sacrificing his own life, if need be, to keep Bill alive to face court-martial.
We are on time. I hope they are as prompt.
Keokuk keeps his word.
I keep my word, too, sir.
It's not just a man's word that's important. It's what motivates him. And this need of yours to avenge yourself on your son, it's not human.
If you have been analyzing my motives, Mr. Cartwright, you're a more subtle man than I thought. But your opinion is of no consequence to me. Hello, Bill.
Father? What are you doing down here? Did you have anything to do with the Shoshone freeing me?
Well, the important thing is that you are free, Bill.
You filled out some.
You're looking well.
I haven't many vices.
How was Mary?
Your sister's well.
I asked her to write me, care of general delivery.
Yes, I know.
She didn't answer my letter.
I advised her not to.
I see.
I suppose I should thank you for saving my life.
No need.
Evidently, your friends didn't approve.
Bill! Oh, Bill! Bill! Oh, darling.
This is my wife, Maria.
Yes, I know. We met before.
Did they?
No, sweetheart. Hey, I want you to meet somebody. Come on, Eddie, you too.
Eddie?
Edward. I named him for you.
I didn't know you had children.
Well, I guess there's no way I could have told you, is there?
And I assume we are as far apart as ever?
You're still my father. I named my firstborn after you.
Pa? Is he really your pa?
Yeah? He's your grandpa, too.
No, he isn't. Wyoka's our grandfather.
Well, he's your grandpa, too, honey. This is my youngest. Her name's Maria.
Little Maria? Edward? My grandchildren.
Also the children of a Shoshone.
The kids into the house. Come on. Go with your mommy. Come on.
Mr. Cartwright, would you ride with me, please?
Hey, wait a minute. You can't do that. You can't give up your life for mine.
That is not precisely my intention.
You don't understand how they feel about you. They're gonna kill you. They'll torture you.
Neither prospect frightens me very much. Some 10 years ago, I gave you an order which you disobeyed. I'm giving you another order now. Go to your house with your wife and children. But it's not an order. It's my request.
Now, what are you going to do?
I'm going with him.
And risk 2 lives instead of 1? Your father is right. Your place is right here with your wife and your children.
Ben,
Bill, you'll just make things worse. I'll go with him. I'll do what I can.
If you're not back here by dawn, I'm coming up.
Why did you want me to go with you?
Because I need your help.
Help? I think you're beyond help now, Colonel. Don't forget, when the soldiers come to avenge your death, your grandchildren are half Shoshone.
I know. That's why I must not die.
How do you intend to prevent that?
By pleading for my life.
They won't listen to you, not one word.
They will listen to you.
A little late for that kind of thinking, isn't it, Colonel?
Perhaps, but will you try?
Well, you know I'd have to do that.
Thank you. I'll explain what I have in mind on the way.
The sun has gone from the sky, O great Chief Keokuk. Where is your warrior with the pale eyes?
He will appear. It was the price of the life of his son.
Wabigi! Biggie,
what? Take care of my part of the bargain first, Mr. Cartwright.
Biggie, what? Oh yeah, Nahanadin, oh yeah, Nahanadin. Oh yeah, Nahanadin. Oh yeah, Biggie, what? Biggie, what?
Red Keokuk, you have the power of life and death over the prisoner. But before you decide, there is something he wishes to say to you.
There is nothing he can say to me.
And if you will not listen to him, listen to me.
There is nothing you can say for him.
I gave my word that I would speak for him.
Speak. We will listen. Speak.
I would like to remind you that the colonel did what he did in time of war. And in war, just as your braves must follow your orders, so the colonel must follow the orders of the great Nantan in Washington. And he was ordered to punish the Shoshones, to bring peace to the territory.
But the massacre of women and children was not the way to bring peace.
That is true. The colonel realizes now that he was wrong. He wishes to amend that wrong. But if you kill him, there will be reprisals. And more Shoshone will be killed. Among them, more women and children.
And how does the Pale Eyes hope to make amends for the wrongs he has done to my tribe?
He will go to Washington. He will return to Washington, and he will admit, so that everyone can hear, that he was wrong in attacking your village. He will say that such attacks can only bring more hatred. They can never lead to lasting peace. And he will apologize to your people.
Apologize? Will that bring back our wives? Our children?
No. But it may save the lives of other Indian women and children.
Words. Words! They spill from his mouth like poison! Silence!
How can I be sure the Pale Eyes will keep his promises?
If I were not a man of my word, would I be here now?
White man lies to save his own skin.
And if you were chief, what would you do?
I would kill him.
You would kill him? Knowing that many of our people would be killed in return?
Even so.
Do you feel no love for your people?
I feel only hatred for their murderers.
Look at him. This man one day will take my place. He cannot rule himself, and he wishes to rule others. Hear me, Pale Eyes. I hate you more than any man. More than Running Wolf hates you. For he does not understand as I do how great was your crime. But Ben Cartwright speaks good words, honest words. If I kill you, many more of my people will be killed in turn. And more of yours. And again mine. Let history record it was Keokuk who put an end to this senseless chain of killings. And let history record it was Keokuk who brought peace to the Shoshone. Pale Eyes, you will promise to tell the whole truth to the great Nantan in Washington?
I swear it.
And you may go. None of my people will harm you. I have said none of my people will harm you. Go.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Did anybody see those parcels I brought back from Virginia City? Now, would one of you be kind enough to deliver these to my son's house?
Well, Colonel, of course, we'd be very happy to, but,
What are you doing in that uniform?
I'm going back with you, Dad. I want to face my court-martial.
There's no need.
We're tired of living in fear that somebody might discover his real name, sir. If it weren't for his love of us and his concern for my people, he would have gone back a long time ago.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you both. And I think I can promise your husband back within 6 months.
6 months? For desertion?
Since I am the chief and only witness for the prosecution, by the time I get through explaining the circumstances, they may very well present you with a Medal of Honor. Now, I have something for little Edward
Thank you.
and little Maria.
Thank you.
Open them.
Thank you. Thank you.
Something to remember your grandfather by. Thank you, Mr. Cartwright, and your sons for helping me see the truth. Are you ready, Lieutenant?